Auntie! Oh no. What am I at, 120? Okay, so I got 50 more to go now, right? I got 50. Well, now it's 60? Now it's 60. Alright, 60 push-ups are coming in after this VOD review. We gotta get to work here, guys. We gotta get to work. It's time to learn. Moo, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, very good. I'm a little ripped now, but I'm good. A little tired. All right, so Moo, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been playing Valorant for? What are your struggles and what are your goals?
Okay, so I've been playing Valorant for about a little over a year now. Valorant is definitely my first like TAC FPS I've ever played. I played a little bit of Overwatch back in the day, but like not a ton, especially not at a competitive level. Um, so this is my first ever TAC FPS. I'm probably I don't know if I have like a specific role I play. I like to say that I play like site anchor characters. Like I play Viper, I play Cypher, I play Killjoy. Um, I would call myself a Sentinel player, but I despise playing Chamber with all of my fiber of my being. So
What's that?
I refuse to play that agent. Um,
Is he 2 to 1 dimensional
so
for you, or what's the reason?
I don't think he's like in my eyes he's not like a very true blue like sentinel type of
Yeah.
character. Like he doesn't feel the same way that Cypher and Killjoy feel to me. So I don't know, it's hard for me to get behind him as a sentinel and like that whole vibe. Um my goals, I guess, honestly, like I would say I have ranked goals, but I just want to like self-improvement is just my major goal. Like I just want to be better. I felt for a long time I was like really struggling to carry my own weight in lobbies, and I'm starting to not feel that way as much, but I still do definitely have those games where it's like, okay, I feel like I might be the reason that we're losing this game and I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, fair enough. Anything specific within your gameplay that you feel is making you feel that way exactly?
Something I feel like I struggle with a lot. I've been told I'm a very passive player, and I think I'm a very reactive player as opposed to a proactive player. Like,
Mm,
I tend to see what people are doing, then go off of that instead of making my own decisions and adjusting my gameplay to, make myself more
okay, cool. And this is feedback you got from your friends, I guess, or
Yeah, the person that I think has helped me most with the gameplay has probably been my boyfriend.
nice.
He's a Radiant player, so he's helped me a bit.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, that's great. Okay, so the first thing when it comes to being proactive versus reactive, part of it is going to be having a mental projection, and part of that is going to be looking at the minimap and understanding what's going on. And as a controller player, which it sounds like you're mostly controller, is that correct?
I think I played Viper and I played Brimstone a bit, but I tend to try to play more Sentinel characters.
Okay, fair enough. As a controller, since this VOD is specifically controller with Viper,
Hmm.
your role a lot of the time is going to be more so looking at the minimap than taking fights, right? It's going to be thinking about what I need to do in terms of throwing my utility to enable and better my teammates more than anything. Now, Viper is a very interesting controller because there's only so much you can do, and obviously the wall is a very powerful thing, but it's kind of a simplified version of, say, a Brimstone, or say an Astra or an Omen, because it's just one spot you can throw it and that's it, right? So
Yeah.
with Brimstone, for example, you have to use it in such a way that you're conserving utility as much as you possibly can and still being able to get as much value out of the utility as you can, which is something that we're going to be talking about in later VODs as well. I think I have an Omen VOD that I want to talk about. I think it's the third one. I can't remember correctly, but where that exact premise will come into play, as well as getting the most value out of the utility that you have. So a lot of it's going to be looking at that minimap and making decisions on the fly for that. So being proactive is a very important skill as a controller to be able to get the
Yeah.
most out of utility. So the mental projection really comes in. We've talked about it several times, especially when you're on offense, for example. It comes in with having an idea or an educated assumption of where people are probably going to be playing, right? And then vice versa, if you're on defense or defense looking over here, you want to be incorporating, your mini map to see where people are going and get an idea of where your map control is going to be and where the utility is best suited for that. So that's basically where proactivity comes into play. We'll take a look at this video together and we'll point out times. You can point out times where you're like, you felt like you were reactive here. We can see if we can figure out a way to make you more proactive in that moment. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
So the learning objectives I have for you is a protocol called the friendly communicator. It's something that's super important because it's an element. I kind of consider voice chats like talking on the phone, for example, right? I don't know if you've ever done a sales job and talking on the phone, but typically it's not a very fun.
It's so funny that you say that. I'm actually a receptionist, so I answer phones all day long. That's literally my job.
Okay. I'm getting some feedback in the channel saying that you're a little low. Let me put you up a bit. Hopefully that's better.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's me on my end. I'm gonna adjust it. So hopefully that makes your sound better.
Testing, 1, 2.
Val, how's that sound? Anti from Val. Hopefully that sounds good. I think that you're pretty good now. I'm hearing you quite a bit, so hopefully it should be okay. If anyone has feedback, cool. Alrighty. Yeah. So you were saying it's funny. You're a receptionist.
I'm a receptionist for my job, so I answer phones all day long. So.
And when they were training you for that job, was there anything specific they said to be able to maintain customer service?
I mean, I've done customer service for like the last 4 years of my job. That's like all it's been, and I really try to, I always give people like the benefit of the doubt and try to be nice to people even when people are screaming at you or being rude for no reason. You just kind of try to put on your smiley face and understand that they're probably having a bad day. It's probably not you.
And that's yeah, exactly. That's the premise of it, right? It's a really good lesson that I learned from doing sales on the phone, because the issue is with human beings is we communicate a lot just on body language alone, and when we're online, we have an unfortunate disadvantage because we can't see each other, right? We can't look at our faces, what the intention is behind what we're saying a lot of the time. So we have to be so friendly with our communications and what the words that we say, because things can be taken out of context so much, right? We could have the best intention possible, but it could be delivered in a way that people will be like, oh, well, this guy's actually attacking me, or this girl's actually attacking me right now, right?
Yeah.
When in reality, we're just trying to get some information or something along those lines. So we're gonna find some specific examples where that happens in this VOD in particular.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I just remember.
Even if you fully understand where your faults are, it's good to still highlight them, because there's someone in chat that might benefit from this lesson as well, right? So,
exactly, yeah.
I think you're going to be okay with this lesson from what you understand, and just by having that slight conversation at the beginning of this VOD, you probably already know what to correct right away. So, just being with what you do with your job. We're going to talk about effective ranges as well. We talk about this a lot in different VODs. I think this one in particular is going to be a little bit more advanced, because effective ranges affects everyone at slightly different way, depending on what rank you are too, right? Because sometimes you'll get punished for certain things in a lower rank where it's like so obvious this was an effective range problem, but in these ranks is a little bit more advanced. So there's going to be a little bit more of like a level 2 version of understanding effective ranges. Shy Goddess, how's it going? How you doing? The next parts are going to be map control, aggression, and changing it up. So it's funny that you mentioned that you feel you're too passive, because there's going to be some opportunities here where I say, oh, this is actually where I want you to be a little bit more aggressive here and take some control.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into it. So this first round is pretty good. I'm actually going to give you props for this round, because the entire time you have excellent crosshair placement. You're checking all your threat angles as you rotate. This is really important. A lot of the times when I'm doing these VODs, I'm sitting there going, like cringing, because it's like, oh, someone could be on your right, for example, which you just cleared, right? Yeah. This is high level shit, and it's something that I want you to continue doing. Philip, how's it going? First time watching stream. I'm from TikTok. This is perfect because I'm a Viper main. Perfect. I think, honestly, in the last few weeks, I've been doing Viper on Breeze, like every single stream.
It feels like every time I'm watching you are doing Viper on Breeze.
Viper on Breeze. You know what? I understand though, right? Because Breeze is a very complicated map. I feel like a lot of people hate this map because of certain reasons, right? I think with Harbor coming out, it might change some things in how the game is played or the map is played, but it's always good to go over this because it's a map that requires a ton of logic, but also proactivity, like you talk about too.
Yeah.
So your crosshair placement's all really good. You made a good raw adjustment here. The one thing that I want you to shift is your mentality, and this is an on-the-fly mentality, because it's very tough to win when you are down players. So we don't need to rush, right? It's something that you're going to have to work on consciously over and over again. If I'm down 3 to 4, I'm in a lower percentage chance of winning this round. So anything that I do this round is going to be of value, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, with the pistol round, it's a little bit different, but later rounds when you're on eco, for example, when you're expected that you'll probably end up losing it statistically, just based on money and frags and all that good stuff, you want to make sure that every single bullet counts. So in these moments, you already want to kind of accept your fact that you're probably going to lose. So there should be no pressure with landing any shot. So you take your time here with this first frag, but I feel like there's still a little layer of expectation or panic out of you to land these shots. That's why you kind of rush into this a little bit. You were taking good amount of time with your shots, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you could have taken that extra second just to make sure you're hitting
Yeah.
those shots, right? And you just need to understand that, hey, it's 1v4. If I end up winning this, it's great. If I get this frag, it can naturally lead me into that 1v3, which could lead me to another kill and another kill. So just take your time. You're more likely to be successful if you just take your time in these moments, right?
Yeah.
There's no pressure. You've already lost the round, so just let it go at that point. Harbor doesn't replace Viper at all on Breeze. Really interesting. I figured that he would, especially with all of the trailers being on Breeze. I thought they were making a real a real movement for him. I haven't had a chance to play him yet, so.
From tunnel, and then 3 on A.
Okay, so let's just listen to what you're saying here, because I might have missed this part. A lot of the Radiant teams I played with, just to reply to some people in chat, Harbor doesn't replace Viper at all on Breeze. There's actually a lot of teams that will play double controller on Breeze for that reason. So,
Yeah.
tested him on Viper main and a full controller main. Harbor is very initiator based, fast to execute and retakes. So like he could be a double controller comp.
When me B,
Nothing
and
wrong with
then
that.
looking towards mid from tunnel.
So I just want to hear that one more time.
I think we should have one more towards A, just like one me B, and then one looking towards mid from tunnel, and then 3 on A.
Okay, I like what you're saying. Like, I think you're correct here. The one thing that I would modify is that you want all the comms to be not about you, because that sounds negative, but I want it to be more of like, how can these people help you, right? So if you wanted to have 3 towards A, you should have been the one going A and say, hey, Neon, do you mind coming with me A on this round? And that way you'll have 3 people there. This is a little bit more complicated, but it should be more about, hey, can you do this for me, rather than I'm over here in B and I don't like how you guys held that A site. Throw another person on there, right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, who do you replace in the comp for Harbor in this particular comp? Well, first of all, it's ranked, so it's we got like 2 duelists here, Reyna, and I mean Reyna would probably be the one, because if we're talking about team versus team, Reyna really doesn't have a role too much in high level play. So I'd say Reyna would probably be the first person to remove. But this is ranked, right? So everything's going to be random. People are going to be playing whatever that they want. But I could see a Viper and Harbor being a good combination. I also like having Viper paired with an Astra or an Omen sometimes on this map. I've seen my Radiant teams do multiple different versions of that double comp, controller comp. So in this round, we're going to talk about isolating 1v1s and doing damage. So the one key is that we want to remember that in these rounds, it's a bare ass minimum. You've probably heard me talk about this several times. It's about what can we do as a small victory for our team so that the next round has a good investment for ourselves, right? So in this state right here, we want to remember that trying to do as much damage financially to them on this round is a really good thing for us. So right away, we've already done some damage financially. So I want you to consider your positioning on this round. Okay. It's gonna come up in about 439.
They walled it. 70 chamber behind your stage. You have Ares.
Last player standing.
112 Viper.
Okay, so this right here is where we make a small mistake. And it's a 1v3 situation. We need to remember that we're trying to do as much damage to them economically as we possibly can, right? It's all about finances at this point. If you can get 1 or 2 frags here, that would be really good. Now, you're about to drop your toxin screen, okay? Not a bad move, but we want to consider the fights that we're going to take behind this toxin screen. So watch your positioning here. You drop it down and expose yourself to all 3, when you could have dropped it down from back over here and isolated 1 fight at a time, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that it's wrong because it's Nico, you're forcing fights, but you definitely had an opportunity here where you could have maybe gotten 1 more, maybe even a second one, right? Probably not win the round because there wasn't much time left, but we're always thinking about how can I isolate fights and what's my goal on this round. My goal is to do damage. If by extension of doing damage on this eco round, we end up getting a win condition out of it and end up winning the whole round, that's a bonus. It's a good bonus, huge bonus, but in this case right now, we just want to think about how do I get 1 more kill. That would be huge, right? Okay. My best explanation of my experience on Harbor is that he's like Breach, kind of useless on his own. Yeah, okay. Sure. We're not worthy! Kumquat 42, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Welcome in. Any questions so far?
Oh my god. No, not that I can think. Sorry, I was hearing myself singing and I was embarrassed. I don't think so.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just like, my brain is processing. I have a single core processor brain.
Okay, no worries. At any point in time, stop me if you're confused, and then we'll go from there. Stream is going extremely well. Uni, thank you so much. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Uni is officially a coach with Gamers Coaching Academy now. You can order sessions through him as well. So we'll give him a quick little round of applause. He's made it. We're still going to be working on mentoring him and making sure that his service is as best as we possibly can. So if you want to get coaching through him as well, he is also an option. So congratulations, who's Uni. Our first coach to the team. There's going to be many more coaches in the future, especially after I've released my certification program, which is going to allow you to essentially be an esports coach. That's the goal for that one. So it'll be down the road, probably around February, we'll have our beta launch of that course. Okay.
They're 1 away from safe zone, so
this
they're
round
that.
is about knowing when to save. Okay. And I'd also say that it's time to possibly switch up where you are. As a Viper, as a controller, it's good to move around the map. I think the next round is when you finally start doing it. But because of how they've ran A twice this time, I would say maybe just shift it around a little bit because they could go A again here, right? Typically, if something is like working for the opposing team, they'll probably continue doing it. I know there's a lot of cases where you see A, B, A, B, but in this case, I'd say you probably need to switch it up somehow on that A because they're struggling over there. There's going to come a point in this round where you may consider having to save.
One's double doors here, right?
It's coming up. Yep, that's good with you. That's good with me, Uni. Go ahead. Okay, it is a 2v3. Bomb's going down. It's already pretty much halfway, I think. Almost there.
Hold on.
Okay, at this point, the bomb is sped up significantly. It takes 45 seconds for the bomb to explode. At this point, I believe it's half. Someone in chat can give me a confirmation. Once it starts speeding up halfway speed, I'm pretty sure that's half the time gone at that point. So in this situation right now, we haven't gained ground on site or on the bomb, and there's 3 people to kill. Right, so 3 people to kill. It's half the time. It takes 7 seconds for you to defuse. This is where I would start considering, at the very least, communicating. I'm pretty sure when the first feed happens, it's 30 seconds in. 30 seconds in. No, that's too fast. That's got to be 50%. Yeah, Auntie, I think that's too fast because that would mean there's 15 seconds left on the bomb. Yeah, I think Ed is correct on this one. So at this point, it's 50%. So you got to move onto the site, get 3 frags, and then defuse the bomb within 20 seconds. You have like 13 seconds to move. So this is where I'd start considering a save. At the very least, I would be communicating to my dead teammates, should we save this round? They can look and do the math for you, right?
Peeking, right? Peeking.
Now it's unwinnable. So now it's like, yeah, let's get out of here. Because 7 seconds here,
No time.
with her lineups, everything like that.
Player standing.
Yeah.
Team ace.
So that was just sort of like a decision you have to make on the fly. Now here's the thing, right? If we look at our finances, which just popped up,
Player standing.
the real key to winning more rounds when we're talking about finances is to have the Vandal in your hand as much as possible. So in this round, we will now have 2,900 in cash. Okay, 2,900 in cash for the next round. But if you save the gun, it'll be 1,900. So let's say we lose the next round, we get another 2,900, and you don't buy anything additional. You just keep your armor, you keep your weapon. You'll be able to buy with your team the following round as well. Okay? Might be a half buy, but you can still buy the following round. So you having the Vandal here wouldn't be that bad of a deal for both of you to save. Okay?
So just like making that decision a little bit sooner.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those moments where you see yourself, we kind of talked about it in the first round. Like, you were in a pretty much unwinnable situation, but you can still do damage. In this case, because you've saved, or you have a weapon from this round, it is a gun round, what is going to be the best value for our movement here? Do we save on this movement? And what I would do proactively is just communicate with your dead team and say, hey guys, do the math, should I save here? Right? Some people won't do the math for you, but at the very least, if you start practicing that when you get onto a team or whatever you want to do with Valorant, these are all good things to start practicing. Good teammate moves, good comms to make. Okay. This round is about effective ranges, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go effective ranges. Jumba Cat, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Welcome into the stream. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the chat. Okay. So as soon as I hear Walby, I probably will fall back just so I can check my minimap and see what's going on. Caitlin, how's it going? Welcome into the stream. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. So you, I love the comm you made to yourself here. You're like, oh, come on. Oh, dude, come on. Funny. But anyways, let's move on. So we start seeing things towards B. I'd be flicking my eyes up there and I'd see 1, 2, 3 people. Okay, 3 people on B. And there's probably a 4th one. But anyways, at this point, you could start taking some space. So you're on eco. There is no risk for you to make plays on eco. Consider the fight that you actually just took right here, the position that you just took with your, I was going to call it a USP, with your Ghost. So used to Counter-Strike. With your USP, you took this long-range fight. Let's say that they were to take a dry fight on you. Vandal versus Ghost. Who's going to win that fight? They're going to win that fight, right? So you need to consider, first of all, your positioning at the beginning of the round for what weapon you have. And remember, there is no risk for you to just make a move to be closer and take a closer range fight at this point, because you're probably going to lose this round anyway. So anyways, you'd be flicking your eyes up, you see that there's 3, maybe 4 on B. Pretty sure that confirms all 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 are there, right?
One.
You could have done the pathing that Reyna took and went on the flank here. Yeah, it's not a problem. This is more of a defensive move, and that's totally fine. Here is where we have the big lesson for effective ranges. I'm not even gonna look at my notes because I remember what's going on. So you're once again using your Ghost at a long range fight, which is going to most likely be a Vandal, correct?
Yeah.
What can you do in this moment before they get on site to make this a closer range fight for you and give yourself a chance? Don't be afraid to be wrong.
Okay, so like this is like a total like crack pipe theory. I could technically like throw like a my orb here, like in between the box and the pillar right here, so I can kind of like scoot out my way to the wall to make.
Yeah, it's not a crackhead move. I think it's an unconventional move because people don't think critically in this game. That's the problem. You were thinking critically there, and that's a very good thing. That's exactly what I would have done. Throw that smoke, throw that orb right over here, and allow yourself to get closer so that this fight isn't from McDonald's, it's from in their face, in the corner. right?
Yeah.
Or you can even sit in the smoke and let them walk by you, potentially make a fight happen there, right?
Chambers also hit 101.
Tuck yourself to the left and isolate fights. Yes, you can, but if you isolate a fight with a Vandal on a Ghost versus Vandal, who's most likely to win that fight? They are, right? So what do you do to make yourself a little bit more effective, right? See this fight that you're taking here? You have an orb. Use the orb. Get closer.
Yeah.
Give yourself a chance. Because you need to think about how do we equalize these fights, right? We don't want to be taking disadvantageous fights if we don't have to. So in this case, you're a 4v3. No problem with you moving up. Remember,
Yeah.
we're still on eco, right? If you got a gun and then everyone had vandals and we turn this all around, then yeah, okay, great. Then that's great. We could win this round. But you're still on eco. So what do we need to do damage to the other team? We're not going to expect to win this round, but if we win, it's a bonus. What do we need to do to make you most likely to win this round? And I'd say in this case, what you said. Throw that orb, move up a little closer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, this round is about alt facts. I love how 4 rounds in, we're already committing to a surrender. I like, what's wrong with this community? This game is
Yeah, I
never
don't know.
over. This game is never over. Every round's a brand new game. And here's the thing. This is the mentality you need to have, right? Every time you go into a ranked game, what do I want to learn this game? What do I want to learn this particular round? Take things away from it. It's not about winning or losing the game. It's about how do I get better as a player? And how do I get these experiences down? You know, I got to this point with understanding all this stuff by taking a shit ton of L's, right? Losing a lot, being punished, going through mistakes. Mistakes are a very good thing. The universe is a great teacher. In order for you to really learn, you need to fail over and over and over again, right? So this should actually be an exciting moment for us that we are down 4 rounds, because now we get to VOD review this and take a look at all the opportunities for learning and growth that we have here. That's what we should be thinking about when we're losing games. Not the fact that we're losing, but the fact that we are learning. We win or we learn, right?
They have Viper ult in one, and they have Sova ult in one. So, and they also have Jet ult.
Okay. Alt facts and excellent fights. So I think I'm going to give you props again in this round. I don't do this enough in VOD reviews. I apologize to anyone I've done VOD reviews with. I always focus on the negatives. I need to focus on some positives as well. So
If being passive isn't working, we can always try being aggressive.
I love that call. Why not? It's not
Yeah.
working for us. Let's do something different.
Viper wall B?
Yeah.
Or A, sorry.
Remember, we're trying to learn things here.
AJ.
Okay.
Oh, it's hot.
There's going to come a point here.
I got you. I got
I
hold.
wrote down the wrong timestamp. I wrote 885. That's not possible.
A weird angle.
Must be 55. Notice how she did that from behind cover, guys? How many times have I watched your VODs and you guys would be right here and you shoot it out in the open like that? All the time. Thank you. Thank you. This is good. Critically thinking. Okay. I love that you did not chase that fight, okay? I don't know if everyone in chat saw that, but a wild jet just ran across her screen.
Jumped out of house.
Boom. 1 second. Actually, no, it was a chamber. Okay, you didn't chase that fight right away. You isolated it, you missed a first burst, and then you pulled away. See that? I've talked about this before. It was Vu Storms who I was doing this on. It was one of my famous TikToks. It's like 500,000 views.
You can alter reach.
See, you missed your first burst. You said, well, I'm going to lose this fight. I'm going to pull back in. This is really good. This is high level shit. You don't chase after the frag.
Okay.
And then you
I think my
repeat,
aim
and then
isn't
you
the
win the
best.
fight.
Yeah,
Sorry,
my
say that
aim is
again?
the best, so I like rely a lot on like strafe shooting and stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, I feel like that's one of my strong suits since I don't have the best aim in the whole world.
You physically thought and made the decision to isolate that fight and re-peek into it, so you had peeker's advantage, all that good stuff. That's why you won that fight. I guarantee you, most of the people that I coach would have committed to that first peek right there. They would have peeked out first,
You can alter.
and then they would have stayed here and kept spraying. Right? Happens all the time because they're like, oh, frag, gotta get it. No, you can pull away
Retake.
and retake the fight. So thank you for proving my point. This is a really great listen, right? Thank you for this. Choose a fight on your own terms. You don't have to force a fight.
Sova front sight.
You're using environment here to peek all these angles. It's really good. By the way, what rank are you?
At this time I was Ascendant 1.
Cool.
I
Awesome.
think I placed like Diamond 3. I haven't played a lot of ranked
So,
yet.
Viper's in the ult.
I love how patient you are with these shots. You're not rushing anything. Like, watch this kill on the Sage.
On site.
Middle ult.
How many of you in chat would have been like, ah? Right? Look, just patience. I love it. I love it. Really good.
Viper's in the ult.
I can dog, I can dog.
Hey, Ducker.
Okay, so I don't think it's the greatest time to use a Fade ult, but any time for any Fade mains in the chat, if you're playing as the Viper and you see that she has ult, save your ult for that moment. Because you can literally just isolate where Viper is inside the ult, and it completely mitigates what she does. She can't hear, she's decayed as well, so now it's an even playing field, and the line attaches to her. So Fade ult is a direct counter to Viper ult. Yeah, she's hella disciplined, Ed. You're correct.
Going in. Nice.
Good. So yeah, Fade 100% defeats Viper ult. So don't be afraid to use it.
Nice try, guys.
I think they go B here, so
That's an
if I have
important
one
piece
wall,
too,
it's
because you
very
got to
easy.
remember with our ults, with our abilities, what are our direct counters, right? Like for example, whenever I have a KO, I always say, "What's your direct counter?" And I look up in this other VOD, or sorry, other team, and I say, well, it would be Chamber, it would be Jet, right? Because anytime they use that, it's like they're trying to use it for economy more than anything, so they're still effective. So if you have your KO ult in, you effectively eliminate 2 players from the playing field for a little while, right? So these little things are super important when choosing when to ult. Sometimes when you're playing a certain comp, you know, I might say to a certain player, certain character that, yeah, you can use your ult this way, this way, this way, but what supersedes that rule of how you can use your ult comes for who you're playing against as well, right? You can also counter Viper with Viper ult, correct? Yep, you could do that. I have done that before with Radiant teams. As long as the value makes sense, that's really the key.
I can also ult for retake too.
Yep.
And use my dog.
Okay, so this is another effective range round. We got a lot of effective range in here.
They ulted here. They walled here.
This was really good anticipation of the ult, by the way. I love this.
Yep.
Make sure that that's landed right on the entrance. I think you might have shot it too far.
Did we drop?
You want to play? Let's play.
They're leaving. They're leaving. They're leaving. They're leaving.
Good comms. Make sure you're counting numbers as well for people leaving, if you can.
Chamber has ult, so don't peek op angles. Peek short angles.
So, and I see where you're coming from. I think it's a bit of a nitpick, but yeah. Okay, I can see where you're coming from. So Ed saying that in these particular angles, these particular fights, because I have made this comment before. The right tool for the right job, the right gun for the right job, right? Vandal here is not bad, but you could use a Phantom, right? You still have that one-shot headshot at Phantom at this range. Just something to think about.
Main.
I just want to hear what you said
Short
here.
angles. Don't peek op angles.
It's
Peek short angles.
beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. Have you been doing that kind of comm forever, or is this something that you heard from me?
Yes, it's something I've heard.
Chamber has
Well,
ult,
for
so
the
don't peek
op
op
angles,
angles.
yes, but for the ult comms, like before round, is definitely something I learned from your TikToks. So
Awesome. I love those comms. Guys, listen to this again, right? This is a reassurance call to all your teammates to remind them that, hey, by the way, Chamber has op. Don't be a bonehead.
Chamber has ult, so don't peek op angles. Peek
Beautiful.
short angles.
Beautiful comms. Love that.
Main.
They make
Right from me.
actually in my notes it said these comms are just making me smile. I love this move. So good.
Shot the eye.
Chamber's mid.
That fatal didn't have as much effect as it could have if you threw it a little bit closer. Unfortunately,
main?
but
3 main.
now when you said 3 main, what did you mean by that?
I think I was more like my nitpick for myself here is I probably shouldn't be holding an angle while I'm like definitely just my eyeballs are on my mini map right now. But I think I was going off of the util because
we saw the Sova Dart, we see the Viper on the map, and I think we also saw Chamber. So
How's it going, Step Bro?
I think that's what I was going off calling 3 main there.
So you said 3 main. What main?
Yeah.
This
I
is
should've
my
said B main.
feedback. Exactly. Because watch, every time you make a comm, right? We're responsible for our teammates and making them better. Want you to watch Chamber.
I'm
Let
trying
me
to
go back a bit.
No, I see.
Viper main. Shot the eye.
Chamber's mid.
Chambers main. 3 main.
Watch Chamber.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
trying to
I
stall,
see it.
keep him off
2.
site.
Nice.
Chamber's thinking you're saying 3A main, not 3B main, right? This is
Yep.
this is why I always make the lesson, right? I've said this before. What does that mean to Chamber? What does that
Yeah.
mean to Neon? What does that mean to Fade, right? The words that
Yeah.
you say, English is a very complicated language, right?
Yeah.
But the words that you say can be interpreted so many different ways, right?
Yeah, I
it's a
didn't
really,
even notice that.
it's a really
Rotate
cool.
again.
I just picked it up right now as well, so
Yeah.
30
no worries.
seconds left.
How's it going, Squiddy? Welcome in. Monkey Fist Gaming, how you doing?
2. They're going to be here 100%.
Okay.
Spike planted.
Okay, first thing, I would say normal circumstances, right? When you're seeing a chamber
Walking
up.
down mid with my wall out.
Yeah, that's one little thing for sure. I think we're in a state where we have to kind of just go for it because we're already gonna, statistically, we're gonna lose this round, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say my feedback is, if Chamber has op, where's most likely he's going to be playing?
Probably backside.
I would
Along
say
the-
B main. I would say B main based on where the bomb would be planted. Now he's obviously opping here. He might TP here as well, right? So if he TPs back to B main with having the long range fight, that's where he's most likely going to be, in my opinion. So I think the move might be to go with your chamber here.
I'm going to wait for you to walk up chamber and then I'm going to peek off you.
Remember, every second that we waste here is less percentage of us winning this round. So we need to kind of make a move here. There's one. Let's see if I'm right about the chamber. There's 2.
Last player.
Okay, so chamber's not there. Chamber's staying on site. So this is probably a low-level move at this point. It's not going to happen very often, but I would say that you're most likely going to be seeing someone from B main. I think the wrap right here might have been a good idea. At the very least, if you had thrown your orb. Do you have an orb? You do have an orb. If you thrown your orb towards this section right here, and then you moved in that direction with chamber, they might have had eyes on this spot and then pulled away from this angle, which might have given you a chance. Now, the other option that you have is, once again, effective range. Okay? Same rules apply here. You have an op versus a vandal. Who's going to win that fight at long range? The op. Same rule, same lesson. Toss that Viper Orb a little bit closer so that you can get a closer range fight on them. Right? Effective range, effective range.
Last player standing.
That's it.
Sorry, I'm not able to keep up with chat here, guys. I keep looking up. If you guys want me to answer something direct, just at me, and it'll be easier for me to see exactly who's talking. If you guys are just having a fun conversation, feel free to keep going. I didn't have a note for this round, other than
Buy
feed your
you,
cat.
Yeah. She's very talkative.
Okay.
Stairs here.
Squiddy, how's it going? You're going to be back a bit? Awesome. We eagerly await your return. Okay, there is something that happens here.
Just opening door.
Mid.
Okay, right here, run at him. Just run at him.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. If there's someone backing him up, you'll die, but it's 4v5, and we need to get an equalizer frag right away. She's in the middle of a fight. She might be tunnel visioning right now. She might not be able to look back and cover her left side. So if you just swing, don't hesitate. You probably pick this up. Okay. You chased here. So you're doing the opposite of what I wanted you to do from the last time, right? You're chasing after that frag, and that's going to pull you out into the open here. What I would have rather you had done is if you missed that fight, you tuck to the left. If you tuck to the left, you would have isolated a fight on the chamber. I do believe. Let me see here. Yeah, there was someone there. So if you miss this fight, which happens, pull into the left, avoid the fight, right? Don't commit to it. This is the opposite of what we did that one round. And then fight the chamber. And then peek out again, and then fight the Viper afterwards. Right?
Spike planted.
We're talking about effective... we are talking about how effective Reyna is inside of Viper ult when attacking a Viper in her pit. Yes, so I actually made this point on Friday. How my student Empress, and what he could do was he killed one, and on his dismiss, he could have peeked into the ult to see if he can find where Viper is, tag him, and then fall back out of the ult. Just being that you're invincible for a little bit. So definitely Empress could be a good... not direct counter, but definitely a way that you can use like a Sova Dart, for example. It can be used as a Sova Dart.
Close for the box.
Zip, how's it going? Zip will be our last one for the night, and guys, you do not want to miss Zip's VOD review. There's a lot of good content there.
Nice.
I apologize in advance, Zip. I am going to use you for content.
Nice, huge, good job.
I have nothing but respect for you. Nothing but respect for you. I'm looking forward to that one. That's gonna be great. There's gonna be moments where I'm literally pulling my hair out. There's gonna be moments. It's gonna be great.
I'm just gonna play retake on A then.
I'm gonna make you a star, Zip. I'm gonna make you a star. All right. This round, I think I missed. But I did say oh wait, is it round 8? Yes, it is. Okay, so the first the comment I made was be nice now. Be nice.
Mid.
Oh yeah, I think this is the round I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Chamber on B.
Effective range, by the way.
One's
Yeah.
double doors.
Elbow too.
I think I even said I hate Spectre on Breeze.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I've watched quite a few VODs, and I would say unless you have an expressed plan of what you want to do with the Spectre to get some sort of effective use out of it, don't even bother buying it, right?
Yeah.
Why not the Sheriff on this eco round? I think this is an eco round, right? What did you do here?
I'm really insecure about my aim is why.
All right, chat. We're gonna help out Moo today. What should Moo be doing? What should Moo be doing? You guys have watched. What? Let's hear it. Let's hear it, guys. Let's hear it in chat. I need to know. Philip, thank you so much for coming by. Feel free to join the Discord before you leave. I don't know if you've already joined or not, but join the Discord. We do this every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I will still be streaming for a while, Philip. So if you want to come back, we'll be streaming till about 9 p.m. tonight. Mycelium says flame her team until they buy her. Request a gun. No. Okay. You guys are correct. 100%. She should be bought a proper weapon here. 100%. I agree with you. Okay. But if we're talking about eco rounds, let me reaffirm this. Right? If she is buying Spectre on her eco rounds regularly, and she is not buying the Sheriff because she's not confident with the Sheriff, what should Moo be doing with the Sheriff?
DMing.
DM, yeah, sure. Practice. I've said this before several times. Vandal and Phantom will win you rounds and score you frags, but Sheriffs will win you championships. What you do in your eco rounds and the effectiveness of the Sheriff, of what you do with that, is going to win you so many essential game-changing rounds. It's the most important weapon for you to learn over any other weapon. You must grind. You must work on that Sheriff. Crosshair placement custom helps me too. Awesome, Dignified. Dignified, is that you? Is that you, Dig? Were you my student in C1 and Sky High? Is that you, Dig? I think that, yes it is. Awesome, Dig. Welcome in. Dig is one of my first students. One of my OG students. OG. My good friend, how you doing? Stinger running gun op though. I mean OP. Okay, listen. Sheriff. Go range. Okay, Ed says 30,000 bots daily with a sheriff. Boom, done. I mean, sure, whatever works for you. That's a lot.
Chamber on B.
One's
I do
one's
hate
double doors.
DM.
Low two.
I hate DM so much.
You go into DM like you treat ranked. You're trying to learn something specific or focus on practicing on something specific. You're not trying to learn or not trying to win. You're trying to learn something new, right? Maybe it's you.
But I get held from an angle in DM. Somebody
Who the fuck cares?
I know, but it's so hard. It's so tilting.
Like this person that's doing this, do you remember that person? Like what his
No.
name was? Right?
No, I don't.
Do you remember every
I
detail?
know you're right. Ah!
Illegal oh my god, Snacks, how's it going? Illegal defuse, holy shit. That brings it back. Snacks, can you explain in chat what happened there? I can't remember exactly. That good to see you, my friend. I can't remember exactly what happened. I think, was it on Combat Arms or was it on Soldier Front 2? So they did something that made me say illegal defuse, and I think it was because they did it through like it was SF2. Yeah, I think you guys ended up like clipping the bomb through the wall, and I said that's an illegal defuse, which technically was, I think in my opinion, was true because yes, you could do it in game, but I'm pretty sure the admins of that particular tournament, if there was a tournament, said you have to be fully visible, and then they let it go, which made me that's like fucking. I hated it. You have the clip? Add me on Discord and I'll play it. Socials. No one's gonna understand the game though, because it's Soldier Front 2. But anyways, let me go back into this. Okay, so this is where it starts happening. It's not even this round that I'm worried about, like the content of the round. He's got a long range kill with the Spectre.
Shot her in the foot.
Shot her right in the foot. Okay, so here's where it's gonna start coming from. Okay, so let's listen to the comms, guys.
Instead of low, can you just call up the numbers?
I'm so mean here. I don't mean to be, but I am. I know. I feel bad now.
Okay, let's
I'm
listen to it.
embarrassed.
No, don't be embarrassed. This is a good learning lesson, right? Because your intention here was pure. I would like to think it was pure, right? You were trying to be helpful, correct?
Yes, I
Okay.
was.
So let's listen to the tonality of how she says this again.
48. Instead of low, can you just call up the numbers?
Okay. It seems fine, right? Like it's not, but it's also not that big a deal. So it's just like, we don't really need to bring it up. Just let it go at that point. But so I would personally not say anything. But let's just say with this, right? You said it very neutral, but it was neutral with a kind of monotone tone. Would you agree? Disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. If you said
A
that,
little snark thrown in there.
a little, yeah, it definitely. There's a little bit of a negative overtone, right? So
A mild amount of snark.
exactly. So if someone hears that, human beings do not like to be wrong. They don't like to be wrong, right? They want to be right all the time, even if it's like ego driven and it's like not true. I always try to feed into the fact that they're right all the time, just so that there's no potential war that could potentially come from this, right? So you said that, and let's listen to how he responds.
How am I supposed to know? I'm spectating.
If you don't know, then don't say anything. I'm not trying to be a dick, but like actually.
You tried to recover there, but
Yeah,
you're
but it was
kind
a
of
little
dick.
too late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to
officially-
change the world one person at a time because I hate when people say he's low because it's
I
just
thought
like
I would
I
kill him
just
with
give me
this
the
one.
numbers.
Okay, as a coach, that is my responsibility.
Yeah.
It's not your responsibility. I will take care of him. So what you can do is refer him to me, and I'll be happy to have that conversation with him. But in
I'll
this
just start
respect,
dropping your TikTok link in the chat at the
yeah,
end.
just drop it in there. Just drop it in there, and then they can look. To say, hey, Chamber, I think it would be a really good opportunity for you to take a look at these TikToks, and that's all you gotta say.
Yeah.
Just let it there. That's it. Okay. But yeah, that's my responsibility, and I appreciate your drive to try to make other people better. You should become a coach. I think that would be a good thing for you, right? But that being said, in retrospect, notice how I said retrospect. Everything that happened in the past, you cannot control.
48.
Okay.
Yeah.
if you're on a team and people are receptive and open to those kinds of comms and that kind of automatic feedback, right? Then definitely you can say that stuff. But even on teams, I would say that most of my teams, I would say, nah, cut it out, cut it out. That's in the past, you
Yeah.
can't control it, right?
Yeah, and also like just thinking about it for like my own self, it's like people don't come into rank to like be coached by other people. Like they just are here to try to play the game.
Yeah.
That can be frustrating for somebody. Yeah, that makes sense.
100%. Actually, Dignified, who's in chat, I think it was the team. You guys were the team that we did that. It was with, oh my god, what was his name? Who was your Cypher main? I can't remember who it was. Can you remind me, Dignified? But anyways, we don't even need the name. But we had that conversation where I was like, don't do it in-game, do it in VOD review afterward. T-Bite, thank you. Yeah, it was T-Bite who had issues with his tonality.
I thought I would kill him with just a body.
And also issues with reflecting on the previous round. We need to focus all of this time on the current round. That's all that matters right now. What do we need to do to force a win condition out of this particular round? As soon as you do that, you might not have... I think you said, I'm not trying to be a dick, but officially to Chamber, you're a dick.
You're being
right?
a dick, yeah.
You're a dick. People are very defensive. That's why tonality is super, super important. So, guys in chat and Moo, how would you reconstruct this if you had to say something? How would you say it differently? Let's listen back to it one more time.
48. Instead of low, can you just call it the numbers?
I probably would have just like, if you put the blame on yourself and kind of was like, oh, I thought he was low, so I went for a body shot there. I thought I would kill him. Then that I guess that like will kind of like subliminally put it into their mind that it's like, okay, well they did a calm based off of my words and therefore I should be maybe a little bit more responsible with how I'm phrasing things.
Yeah.
But that could also just be.
Yeah, I love how
don't-
I love how you said that you need to be more responsible with how you're phrasing things, because just 1 or 2 rounds ago, right? when
Yeah,
you
I
said-
know, which is so funny because I was thinking about that too. Is like, and I did that exact thing when I called main, then I should have said B main. Yeah.
And that's the cool thing, right? Because now you see like you're holding one person responsible for that thing, but you've also had that error before, right? So it's very easy to make these little mistakes. So we need to be very, very hyper vigilant on what we're saying to people, because we're not perfect either, right? And we can make mistakes, and we should be allowing for an environment where mistakes are acceptable, right? This Chamber does not want to lose the game. He doesn't want to lose the game, right? So his intention wasn't to throw you off. We just need to be like, oh, I like your response. It's like, you could have said it that way, and that way it's not isolating him as the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
So
How am I supposed to know? I'm spectating.
okay.
If you don't know, then don't say anything. I'm
I
not gonna
think-
be a dick, but like actually.
So I think this round is hit him with the map control and flank. And
thought I would
this
kill him with just
this
a body shot
round,
there.
I actually wanted to see
Yeah,
you do
twice.
something like push through halls and start a flank. I'm not sure the exact moment. I think it's 16:06. So we'll see what happens here.
Could be. Let me hear it.
Yeah, like right now, I would be at least peeking halls just for information, just to see if there's someone there. And if I don't see anyone there, I might just go for it and start flanking right away.
Double doors.
Yeah, so I would have ignored this and just started flanking at this point. Because I'm trying to develop as much impact as I possibly can. Yeah, like right now, for sure. Right now, for sure. Start flanking. Start flanking through alls. And there's nothing to say that this is the wrong play or the right play. There's many options, right? You're in Ascendant right now. You've already made it to the show. So there's many different ways up to the peak of the mountain. My goal as a coach is to give you all options. It's not incorrect to do a flank. What I would say though, because you are a controller and there's an innate responsibility with your role in being alive as long as possible, because you have the direct impact and responsibility of the success of other players. But if you had to make a play like this, I would definitely say, hey guys, I'm going to do this. Just be prepared, right? I'm going to start a flank. At least let them know that you're doing it so that it's not as big of an impact on their play. And this could work
Indeed.
too, right? This could work too, what you're doing. Being very defensive. Nothing wrong with it.
Planning. Calm down.
Last player standing.
Both main.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
And you guys won. So it worked out, right? But that would have been an example, because you mentioned at the beginning you feel you're too passive, right? Nothing wrong with making a play there. And just communicate that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Target ×1. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. My socials are listed in the chat as well. Feel free to join up on the Discord. We have a growing community of like-minded individuals trying to learn and get better. So we'd love to have you there. We're also doing a seminar every month, and we're going to start doing 10-man starting next month. November the 12th at 8 p.m. Saturday night. It's going to be great. So I'm going to start doing some 10-mans. Might stream them. Might give you feedback in the actual games as well. So we're going to be getting a lot of people together and having some fun with it. Awesome, Monkey Fist. I will take a look at it, and then we'll set a date for that. Set a date, and we'll get the payments done. Okay, so this particular round... Oh, yeah. There's something that you say here. And I say, oh, famous last words.
Spike planted.
I think it's more of just a funny moment more than anything.
I don't see anything, Hollis.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
See anything, Hollis?
You know what? Happens to the best of us. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us. It's okay. We don't really need to like give you feedback on that one.
Yeah.
We do know one thing. This Jet has been making plays towards Halls all the time.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely we need to be checking as much as we can. Target. What's up, Coach? I'm a 4 months Valo player. I'm afraid to play comp and have zero confidence yet. Some of my friends said that I'm already in high elo player like Diamond. What should I do? Play. It's not simple. Play. What do you have to lose? What are you afraid of? Right? What are you afraid of? If your goal is to get better, you need to play against better players. Right? When I jumped into this game, my first matches were against Baby Bay, Aaron, a bunch of other people that you've probably played with or played against in pro or seen people play in pro play, right? These were my first games. And I walked in expecting to get my ass killed, right? Over and over and over again. But I went in with the expectation that was going to happen. And I wanted it to happen because when I'm put in a position where I'm uncomfortable, like losing, right? I have the biggest opportunity for my own growth. So my advice to you, my friend, jump in and forget what your rank is, forget what stats you get, and just try to become a better player. And the best way to do that is by challenging yourself and finding competition that is going to challenge you. Your best teacher is the universe, but another really great teacher is the opponents you play against, because they're going to punish you for the mistakes that you make. So go in there and do it. Okay.
They're all here.
Fun little fact. This Sova Dart isn't going to scan you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's too deep in the corner. If I just sit on the outside of bricks here, I'll be fine, and I don't have to drop back out of the ult.
even so, it's actually outside of your ult. Your ult's right here. So it can't even hit through your ult. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
This was just something that I picked up as I was watching it. I'm like, oh, I wonder why she's backing up right now. So this is going to come over time. You're going to end up picking up these little pieces of information. Like that one moment where you said A main, and I watched the chamber running back, right?
Yeah.
You're going to pick this up as you play more. This is just more hours, really. Target, no problem, my friend. I'm glad I empowered you on this one. Okay, so driver's protocol. Is this driver's protocol round? Yes. Okay, so I thought if I'm going to go back and I'm looking at the scoreboard, I'm thinking that they're probably going to go A, and they're probably going to hit you hard, right? With a Sova ult, or not Sova ult, with a Viper ult. And what they're going to do is Sova's going to grab the orb. This will be allowing them to make a post-plant round, right? They have more than enough utility to be able to post-plant hold this bomb from cave with Viper and with Sova. And I feel like Viper would ult instantaneously into you. So this is like the mental projection that I have. right?
Maybe
So you
someone can
ulting
look
here
walls.
is actually going to counter that play, which is good.
Dirt really likes to go halls.
You can try to hold him then, make him force him to put B or something.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, you just go immediately ult, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just gonna alt off rip again.
Okay.
100% Caitlyn. I just read your message. I love that.
They have Viper ult too, so
You want to play? Let's play.
they walled here.
Okay. There is something here. Oh, yes. Okay. This whole thing's a minimap issue,
Yeah.
right? It's a driver's protocol issue. You are in an active mode here, which makes it tough, but your chamber just died mid. And your chamber's responsibility is to make the call as well, which I think he ends up doing. Let's listen.
Mid.
Yeah, he does, but it's already too late. This is partially you not looking at your side beam mirror on the right as well and taking
Yeah.
that in. It's
yeah,
also,
I noticed that when you first played it. Like I was like, oh, and Chamber died from mid, and I just didn't notice.
yeah, and then the other piece too is I'm a firm believer of rounds are won and lost in buy phase. Give yourself a communication. I know Chamber doesn't like you at this point. Maybe he's even got you muted, but give yourself a chance and
Fair.
tell Chamber what you're doing so that Chamber doesn't play stupid aggressive and die instantaneously, right?
Just
So
go
that you're not in a
immediately,
bad
Yeah, I'm
spot.
just gonna alt off rip.
Or at least get him to play off you. Say, just tell him what you're going to do, what you did, and then say, how do you want to play off of me? Do this early
Yeah.
on, right? The more time, the better.
Walled here.
I'm gonna spam comp tomorrow until I get better and better. I love it, Target. Just go for it. And we talked about it earlier on in the VOD. We should be excited when we lose, because when we lose, we have a bigger opportunity for growth, right? Growth is uncomfortable. So you either win or you learn, Target. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, this next round,
Nice.
I say change it up. Change it up again. All right, we've been playing passive on both the sites. Let's get some mid aggression in here. Let's do a 1-3-1, right? So just a little different strat change. Like, you guys like playing 2 anchors on site and going 3 down mid and trying to challenge them here?
Yeah. I feel like I'm a lot better doing that on offense than I am on defense. Like making plans on defense is, I don't know, kind of hard for me. And then like just like in a more broad sense, I'm curious on what your response to this is. Recently, like I don't know why I feel like sometimes when I try to make calls or make plans, like I get ignored a lot, and I don't know if it has to do with like because I'm a girl or just because people in ranked don't want to listen. So like, what is your like general advice for that? Like I've literally had games where like I'll make a comm or I'll make a call and I just get flat out blatantly ignored.
Happens to me too. Happens to me too,
Yeah.
right? People have their own mindset of what they want to do. We don't have full control over their bodies, their minds, and what they see, or what they can do with their keyboards and mouse. So
Yeah.
all you can do in ranked in that environment is give a suggestion, and it can either be ignored or it can be accepted. It might not have anything to do with sexism. That might be a story that you're telling yourself, right? In this case, you know, it could be someone is literally taking food from his mom. His mom is bringing food down, and he's like, oh, you can put it over there. He's not listening to you, right? We have no idea, right? So we only have a video playing in our head. So we don't want to make that a negative thing. What we want to do is accept the fact that we can't control everything. So if we can make a suggestion, if people respond to it and it works, then let's do it, right? But if they don't respond to it, what do we need to do to be able to make it better for ourselves in this situation, right?
Yeah.
What I would say is that it's a really, really good habit to continue to practice, right? Because if you continue to do the right things over and over and over again, you will rank up. It's a statistics. It might take long, right? Sometimes it'll work really fast. You'll get like 7 or 8 games in a row where people are listening to you and they like your suggestions. And they end up deciding to do what you do. But there's going to be some days where no one's listening to you at all, and you might split games, right? At the end of the day, you're going to get where you're supposed to go if you continue to practice the good habits. So I would say continue doing what you're doing and be as positive about it as you possibly can. You have an opportunity as a player and maybe one day as a coach as well to be a beacon of light to everyone in this community, right? You need to be that beacon of light. always be positive, because it's so easy to be negative about these things. So easy to say, well, my teammate didn't listen to me here, right? When you could say that, okay, they didn't listen to me in this situation, but what did I get out of this experience, right?
Yeah.
And what can I do to inspire positivity in this community? Because it starts with you, and the more that you can inspire that, the more other people will be inspired by that too. So
Yeah.
always think with the positive mindset, and always think with the learning mindset on that. I think you asked a question here. I don't know if I like this angle, blah, 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 something like that. Let me see what you said here. It's over here. It's back here. Oh shit. 2017 is when it was. Are you familiar with Gambit Nat's Viper playstyle? Gambit Nat's Viper playstyle. He frag is high with his agent. I haven't watched him, but I can do a deep dive on him. I'm guessing he puts a lot of aggressive Viper walls up.
This is cringe.
And I think this character, you can do that quite a bit, because it's not as high of an importance level for putting smokes and enabling people. You have your Viper wall, you throw it down, and then that's it, right?
LP.
I missed it again. My bad.
Yeah,
2017.
I think I just said I don't know if I like this angle.
Guess it here. I'll do this. This is cringe.
This is cringe. So the first angle was fine. What you need to consider is, what's my escape route, right? Do I have an escape route? If you're going to sit here crouch and someone swings you, you're pretty much committed to that fight. You can't really run away from it. The other one you could run away from. If you were to be standing and fall off, potentially you can get away from it, but it's tough. So I would even argue you could, if you wanted to hold this, as silly as this sounds, to give yourself an escape route. Just as an example, place your orb right here, and then as soon as someone peeks you, you pop it, but you fire at the person. That way you can at least escape, potentially. Okay, but yeah, just consider escape routes whenever you're choosing an off angle. I think that's pretty much the only point I would make on that. I would say that the worthy wall would take away all of those angles anyway, so you won't be fighting from there. If they're going to be going A, they're going to probably worthy wall. That's the standard wall. Cross A. Alright, this is over. Let's move ahead. Okay, so on offense.
This is gonna be a hard half. They have double sentinel. Can we try for a mid split here? Because if we all funnel into main, I think it's gonna be really bad because they have Viper and Sage.
Yeah, Philip, as any controller player, you gotta have like a big
okay.
brain
Split them?
when it comes
Yeah,
to that.
can me and Reyna go up mid here? I'm gonna
You gotta see
wall
the big
across
picture.
like this, and then the rest
You
of
want
you
us
guys.
to push up main then?
Yeah, and then we probably.
See, listen, like the tonality you chose here is really good, right? You said, "Oh, I got this idea. What do you guys think?" Da 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 da. Here, I'm gonna do this, and then someone said, "Would you like me to do this?" Like this is really good, right? So
Yeah, one up hole,
continue to practice those kinds of comms.
like chamber or something.
Okay.
Yeah, Neo, we need you for entry.
Everyone's like,
The wall
"Yeah, let's go."
Across for them to get out. Main.
I like this plan. We have a plan.
Reyna, I just need you to watch my double doors here because I'm gonna have my wall out. Okay.
I got wall.
So in this round, we have a little bit of mental projection. It's good, but not perfect. Your comms, and I love the strategy here. That was
Man.
what I was gonna say.
Just by halls, switch.
Falling up.
Wall the main, we can't get through. We should probably rotate here.
You didn't call the Sova.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just clean that part up. Super important.
Sova's close here.
Probably rotate if we can.
Yeah, that means
I'll
there's
come to
two.
you guys.
There's two.
So you said it, but it was too late.
Wait,
A little too late, yeah.
Sova's here.
Where's here? To chamber.
Yeah. I try to ping it usually when I say here, but yeah, I should just get better about calling out the specific spots.
Sova DD. Sova DD.
Yeah.
Someone's going to interpret that as Sova designated driver, or they're going to be able to have a brain and say, oh, that's double doors, right?
Yeah.
Hope you can analyze him in the future. I'm enjoying my first time in the stream. Philip, yeah, definitely. If you could put it into Discord, like if you have like a VOD of him playing
There's one sniper nest, one sniper nest.
something that you want me to cover, I can definitely do it in a future VOD review.
She's hit 78.
Okay, so the mental projection part of this. I didn't write a note on this, so I'm gonna just basically go over it. If we're to go across the map and say that we're gonna make an assumption. This is our pistol rounds. We have no idea where they're gonna be playing, but where do you see people normally set up on this map? If you're to go left to right, and we're gonna use numbers, how many people would be on B site?
Usually, like you have one on site and then one kind of like tunnels towards mid, I think.
Okay, so one.
And then, yeah, and then usually we'll have one person double doors, and then usually 2 people on A.
Okay, so we want to work under that assumption, right? So let's go through this again, and watch where all the fights come from.
Falling up.
One in halls,
Man, we can't get through.
one in DD.
We should probably rotate here.
So I'm assuming there's one at cave, one maybe like right here. So one in halls, one in double door. You're about to see one pushing from the connector, and there's one from B. Okay, so that's what we're looking at right now. Let's see if we're right.
Sova's close here.
Early rotate if we can.
Yeah, that means
I'll
there's
come to
2.
you guys.
There's 2 on B.
I would say there's probably one on B now.
Yeah.
Especially with
I
all
did.
the action that's being thrown towards
Sova's
A.
here.
They're probably maybe 3 on A. Maybe 1 B anchoring, or maybe he's in McDonald's, something along those lines.
That means
Rotating.
there should only be 1 on B. Let's go.
Good. Should only be 1 on B.
There's one sniper nest, one sniper nest.
So if there's only 1 on B, you're now in no man's land, and you're observing the decor on this wall.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
So what I would say that you're doing right now is you're kind of hand-holding all 5 players. And if I were to make an analogy, take care of yourself before you focus on everyone else. This is an important piece for IGLing, right? Because you're thinking way too much right now. It's kind of like the airplane analogy, right? If you've ever taken a flight, you'll have at the beginning of the flight, they would say, they'll have a flight attendant at the front. And that flight attendant will show you how to put your mask on. And they always say, put your mask on first before you help someone else put their mask on, right? Especially in a ranked environment, it's very important to have that mindset because you have 5 people with their own minds, right? Not just you, and not just a full team route, which everyone's all together. In this one, it's 5 people. So it's very hard to babysit every single person. And if you don't take care of yourself first, then if you're that person on that plane, you pass out as you're trying to put someone else's mask on. Not good,
Yeah.
right? So both of you end up dead rather than just one of you end up dead, right?
Yeah.
Zip, you're tired? Are you gonna be able to make it through, make it for the
78.
stream tonight?
Player standing.
You can probably go to sleep now if you want, and then just set an alarm.
Sniper nest, tunnel, and double doors.
Nomar FBS, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Welcome in. This next round, I have no comment. I think it's just one of those rounds you just get run over. Yeah, we're just gonna move ahead.
We're not worthy.
You'll power through it. Zip, if you need to take a nap, do it now because I'm not seeing you till 7 p.m.
Sova's pillar.
Last player standing.
That's okay. It's good damage.
Okay, this round, once again, watch your comms. Let's see what
Let's
happens.
go B again. We don't want to AB. Chamber, honestly, if you want to try and lurk, I think that might be good. Try to catch one on like the mid rotate here.
Okay, on a team, really good comm. In a ranked environment where Chamber already sees you as a dick from previous rounds, you're basically telling him how to live his life.
Yeah.
Right? So to continue the feedback on the point that you made, you feel people don't listen to you, all that good stuff, it could have been something that you said, right? It could have just been something that you said. It's something that you need to actively be working on. And I know that you have it within you to be really, really good at this. So. And everything you say here is correct, but we need to modify it.
Yeah.
Modify how we say it to avoid making our teammates hate us, right? So, any thoughts on how you could say it differently?
I guess I could be kind of like we want to try not to funnel too much, and it seems like they rotate really fast. So maybe we could try to catch one on a rotation if somebody wants to try to lurk, but like don't like pick somebody out individually, I guess.
Okay, here's how I would say it. Alright guys, I think a 4-1, like 4 towards B, might be really good here. Chamber, are you feeling confident to lurk?
Yeah.
And that's how I would say it.
Lurk.
Okay.
I think that might be good. Try to catch one on like the mid rotate here.
You tried to fix it halfway through there.
Yeah.
Chamber, how you feeling about lurking right now? You feeling confident?
Yeah.
Well, yes, Worthy, I am. Great. I'm gonna leave you directly responsible of that job. I know you can handle it. Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, let's move ahead. Something more here that I probably missed. Did you guys decide to change your plan? Okay. She's called you out at this point, so everyone's rotating.
She's low, low, low.
I can't believe she's still alive. It's crazy.
Oh, I do the same thing that I criticize that guy for.
I was like watching the mini-map, seeing her go on the screen. I wasn't even looking at your crosshair.
Oh, so ugly. Nobody saw that.
Everybody saw it. Right, chat, everybody saw it. General, awesome. Okay, I will look at it, Philip. If you just at me as well, that'd be great.
They have jet knives here.
I just ask if anyone wants to lurk, and usually some. Yeah, Zip. That's another way of doing it. Just ask if anyone wants to lurk. Coach Worthy, what rank are you in Valo? Now I don't play anymore. Snacks. I think I can't remember if I played with you in beta, but we finished off in Valorant if I remember correctly. I just coach now. I'm just focusing on making everyone else better, making everyone else the hero in their own journey, in their own story. I don't want to have to do any more illegal defuse moments. You know what I mean? I hated the person that I was when I was playing. Okay. This round is an interesting one. Cool. Let's go back. This is a threat assessment round, and it's also a post-plant. Actually, it's a post-plant positioning round. Let's go back a little bit more.
Oh, aggressive. So we can just kind of chill.
Feed your cat.
Every time I hear her in the VOD, I turn around and I go in my bed. Yeah. She just likes to talk. She's well fed, I promise.
We got any cats in the chat? Cats emotes in the chat?
Nice. Good pick. Good pick. Good pick.
Mid.
Stay out in mortal lobbies. Monkey, the TikTok I posted today has me playing in a Radiant, not Radiant lobby, but Radiant scrim. So you can see that to a degree.
Yeah, were you like subbing or coaching for C1?
I was, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. My boyfriend, he was friends, or is friends with Devin, so.
Oh, really?
We were watching your TikToks, and he was like, wait, he plays with Devin? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he was like, I know Devin.
What a small world, eh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I am scrimming at a Radiant level, but in terms of ranked, I haven't played ranked in a very, very long time. Probably not since beta. So, not consistently anyway. I've played like 1 or 2 games every once in a while, but really don't enjoy the Radiant or the ranked experience. I prefer playing on a team because it's like a skeleton version of the game. Like, why would I want to play this if I can play on a Radiant team and like actually have the experience, right?
And certain roles are like so much more rewarding in a team environment.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like playing smokes in ranked is just like banging your head against a wall, but like playing smokes with a team is like can be really fun.
That's the thing, like when you're playing in a ranked environment, there's actually a really good aspect to controller that will make you critically think about how to make everyone else in your team better, and placing smokes in certain spots will help them do that. And just like being able to make it really simple for people. With a team, it's like, hey, you already have your preset smokes. It is a very rewarding experience playing controller and team, but I think there's things to the Radiant, or not Radiant, but the ranked experience that you need to learn about as a controller to make yourself a little bit better. Because, for example, you threw this wall here. This enables everyone to move on to site. Is it great for a post-plant wall? Not so fantastic, right? But this is like an example of an enabling move that you make. There might be other characters that you throw certain abilities. For example, one of the things that I do sometimes when I am working with, let's see, let's go with this map. Let's go, not Haven. Okay, let's use Haven as an example. Let's say that we're playing on A site. We have a teammate, right? Well, we're going to be Omen, and we're going to be on C. Right, and we see a lot of shit going on over at A, and they're already on site at this point. So, like, they're moving on to site. So the offending team's on here, and you have your teammate Jet, who's right here, and she's ran out of cloudbursts. A really good play to be able to be effective in a ranked environment. As you're rotating, you throw a dark cover right here, and allow the Jet to live a little bit longer in the smoke. You can say, "Play my smoke, play my smoke." This will allow him to stay alive a little bit longer. This kind of stuff happens on a team level as well, but it's these little movements and these little abilities to enable your players as a controller, which makes controllers so much more fun. And then as a result, let's say this breach ends up going in there, you get the kill, automatically get an assist, right? You're Wayne Gretzky. So it's a really cool experience to be able to pick up those things and have those little moments as a controller where you really just carry, right? I don't really play Valor that much. Ranked is boring. Yeah, but if you're down to grab 5, I'll pick up Kid. Nice. We'll get all the people together. Love it, Strazi. I think we'll put up a challenge. 3 of us are Radiant Immortals. The other are fairly new. Snacks, it would take me a while to get back to that rank because I'm pretty sure they're going to set me up in like silver or gold. They did last time. When I was in beta, they put me in silver or gold at the beginning, and then I had to move myself up. But yeah, Snacks, I'd love to play with you guys again. That'd be great. We can do it for stream. And show these kids how it's done. Kids playing still too, eh? That would be great.
5 seconds on wall.
I dogged one.
Okay, so post plant has officially started for you. This is an important piece because when you're starting your plant, actually, it's not even this round, is it? Let me go back. No, it is this. It is one. Okay, so as soon as you plant, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I get shot in the back this round.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, as soon as you plant, my immediate response to you, Philip, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. My immediate response for you is figure out where your lane control comes in, right? So your lanes into the bomb site. So you have a few lanes into the bomb site, one from CT, one from cave, one from double doors. So you need to start controlling and stretching from this position because if you stay behind this wall, more often than not, bad things will happen. This wall as well, I don't think it's on this particular round, but if we go back, let me just quickly take a look. Yeah. It's a little sketch. It's a little sketch. It's not bad, but it could be a bit sketch, right? Because what happens is we have one person who's half buying. If you are throwing this wall against an eco round, you're going to see more problems than you are going to see benefits out of it. So anyways, let's move ahead. This one's probably not going to happen. So as soon as I'm planting here, I'm looking up at the minimap and I'm deciding where do I want to stand, right? Where do I want to go?
I dogged one.
Multiverses? Yes, I have heard about it. So there's one movement to move up here. It's not necessarily wrong, but I would say that you need to plan out where your post-plant positioning is going to be as soon as that plant starts. If you are not the bomber, you should already be stretched as this plant is about to start getting planted. So had you been looking towards cave, you probably still would have died here, but I feel like your instantaneous response should have been, okay, I have 2 snake bites. Let me go back so I can play my snake bites and start working on post plant and securing this round, right? It probably wouldn't have made a difference in this situation, but it's important to be considering the points in time where post plant starts, and that way you won't have these weird awkward fights on site where everyone's sort of like congested on site together, right?
Yeah, because one thing I think I'm really conscious about, I wasn't in that round obviously, but like making sure I'm not holding the same angles that my teammates are holding, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like if I have somebody already looking at an angle, like you don't obviously need to be holding that same angle because you're just wasting 2 bodies for 1 person essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Snacks, Psalms went pro in Valo. Yep, I know. And And I am very proud of him for doing that. I'm very proud of Zoms for being able to go that far. Even though he probably cheated in Soldier Front 2. Let's be real. Let's be real. I hope he admits it to me at one point. Right? Regardless, even if he did cheat, he's made it to the pro ranks, and I'm proud of him for doing what he did. That's awesome. Big congrats to him.
She's on A. She's on A. Go away.
I don't think so. He wasn't that good. He had his moments.
It's 2 on A. It's 2 on A.
Snacks, did you ever play against him in Soldier Front 2? That's one thing. Did you ever play against him? Because there's perspectives, right? It's kind of like back in the day when you guys said Tragedy was cheating, but I was always playing with him. I was never playing against him, right? He might have been. I used to DDoS him when I was a kid. That's funny. Yeah, we all, everyone in the chat, we go way back with a lot of pros. Zoms was Sick. Is Sick the actual Sick who's playing on team with him as well? Sick from Soldier Front 2?
2 mid.
Or was that a different Sick? No, it was a different Sick. Okay.
5% 40. That's at 30.
Yeah, this was a really good play by Sova, by the way. This was an awesome play by Sova. Let's go back here.
Skill diff.
The skill diff. He throws a really good dart. He threw a defensive dart, which is solid, right? He didn't throw it into cave. He threw it on the edge, so you had to physically turn around to look at it. By the time you look at it, it scans you. He's got his machine gun ready to go. So can't really say anything about that round, but we are going to move to the next round. And it's funny that we talked about the Viper wall situation, because this is going to give you an example of why you shouldn't throw this fucking wall in certain situations. Okay?
Yeah. Sage is on a low buy also this round.
It's like, it's such a mental block for me because of the fact, like, I feel like on this map specifically, if you're not doing the default walls and it doesn't work, like for whatever reason you lose the round, people are like instantly gonna blame you. But that's like my own mental block, and like I can think 2 seconds past that and be like, okay, but like you obviously know that it's not necessarily your fault, and if you're doing the right thing and people still blame you for it, like they're just the ones that are in the wrong. So it's just a mental block for me that I need to get over.
So what you do is at the beginning of your buy phase, you have plenty of time. You say, they're going to be on a light buy, maybe eco this round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my wall this way, expect to take a fight here. Okay? Let's isolate a fight on this spot over here. And just make sure people know ahead of time. And if they give you shit for it, you've already legitimately said before it happens, hey, look, they're going to look for close range fights. If I throw this wall here, they're probably going to abuse the shit out of us. Right?
Yeah.
So, Snacks, great to hear from you again, my friend. If you haven't already, add me to Discord. I'd love to have a chat later on. But yeah, you're going to be taking these awkward fights, right? And in this moment, too, in this round, there's a really high chance that they could do like a shotgun play, right?
It's up to you guys.
They could totally do something aggressive like that. So if you throw this wall over here as opposed to the default wall, you're saving yourself a world of hurt. So just make that calm ahead. Say, this is what my intention is. This is what I'm going to do. Right? I do it all the time. When something is unconventional to ranked, I'll say, I'm going to throw smokes here and here. I'll give you an example. Right? So let's say that we don't want to take a long range fight. Okay? Let's go on to Ascent. We don't want to take a long range fight. So what I'm going to do is I'll put my smokes here and here. And I'll say, okay, everyone, let's avoid that fight and path right into sight. Right? And then we'll take our first fight here. Right? Unconventional. Don't see it a lot in ranked, right? But if I say it ahead of time, listen guys, I'm going to do this. I have a play for us. I'm going to do this. I'm going to flash us through main. I'm going to throw these 2 smokes here, and we're going to avoid all those fights, and we're going to take our first fight on B site. What do you guys like? Does that sound good? And they're like, oh yeah, let's do it. Okay, great. Let's do it. Yeah. If it doesn't work out, and be like, well, that didn't work today, did it, boys? Nope, didn't. Okay, great. Let's move on.
It's funny that you say that. I have like a bind play that I do because I learned it from my team, but I do it a lot in ranked now too, where it's you just literally send 5 people up B long and you smoke off hookah on attackers and you just ignore hookah. You just straight up hit B through 5 long, and it works like 8 out of 10 times. So
just so I can get clarification on what you're saying and show the visualization, you're saying 5 up.
Yeah, so on attackers we send 5 up long, and then we'll have Brim buy through, because we usually are running Brim on this map. we'll have him buy 3 smokes and then smoke elbow, CT, and hookah, and we just don't go hookah. We just try to get the bomb down, and then we fight hookah, and it kind of forces them into a disadvantageous position, and it tends to work out for us. So
one other one that you don't see often is this.
Oh yeah.
Wrap right through. And then come from
I
behind.
would be so mad if that happened to me. I would be so pissed if I was defending and that happened to me. Yeah, that is a good one.
Philip says, do you know the possible reasons why pros rarely use Viper on Haven in a sense? Yes, there's far better agents. It's that simple. There's far better agents. So if we're going to go Viper on Haven, looks like everyone is... Love that. I'm stealing that. Yeah, I've used it before. I've used it a ton before. There's actually... I think I have a video. Let me see if I have... I think I have a video here. 1 second, guys. It was one of my original videos on YouTube when I started advertising for coaching. Let me bring it up. So you can see it get played out. It's actually a really good... It fits perfectly with our lesson today. With this stuff. I'm going to go really far back here. I got so much shit. There it is. Okay, watch this, guys. Sorry for the bright letters. Can you call a tactical pause? I want you to try doing something on your next gun round. You know where the chamber's playing in that cubby? On B?
Yeah.
If we put smokes right across there from the B site to the corner of B garden, straight ahead, you can literally cut off that chamber. You can take the back site control, and you can also take elbow control. You can just path through there.
Oh, I would be so mad. I would be so mad.
You catch the rotators, that's your first fight. The rotators never ready for that, right?
No.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah, I would punch a hole through my desk if that were me.
Good job. So listen, you can play that exact same smoke setup, but this time path through A short and just take A. Okay? You're gonna put your smoke up. Yep, good. So this is an example of conditioning your opponents. Certain things that you do.
Yeah.
Go.
Shower.
I love conditioning in this game. I think it's really strong and it's underused.
Swing. Yep. Actually, we don't need to. Nice.
Good job. Yeah. So that gives you a pretty firm example right there.
Yeah.
Of those smokes being used. So the key is that communicate. What the hell? I got some music playing in the background now. Okay. The key is to communicate ahead of time what your intention is, and then if someone straight out says no, don't do that, then don't do it. It's fine, right? Just park the ego and just let it go. But yeah, no punching holes in the desk. Unknown 200. You're right.
Oh, I opened up shadow play on accident.
Don't do that.
I fat finger. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's go back to the point that I'm gonna make here. So this wall right here on this round is dangerous as hell.
If you want to try to get...
Okay.
Oh, that works too.
I actually said no, don't do it, please. Right? In these rounds with our low money, open the wall up to the left. Right? So what we talked about before, open the wall up here, this way, and take your fights. Take your open fights. You want dry fights against ecos.
Yeah,
you want dry
range
fights.
fights.
Yeah, you want that. You don't want to avoid a long range fight. You're basically saying, oh, here, we have this advantage. Let's equalize it so you guys have a chance to win this round, right?
Yeah.
Because we're nice people in Valorant. We're really nice. All I'm thinking of is, oh boy, there could be shotguns. Oh, look, there's a shotgun. Right?
Yeah.
And trades really aren't good for us when we're against ecos right now. Trades aren't that great. Right?
We can leave.
Yeah,
Right here.
They like trades.
Oh, I opened up shadow
Look,
play
they've
on
already... I love what they've done. right? They're on eco. There's nothing to lose. We're going to run right down mid and start a flank, start a suffocation on you. We saw this wall get thrown down, all the stuff. They're all over you right now. There's probably someone in freaking halls right now. I could be wrong, but there's probably someone there. And, you know, they're stacked. They're ready to take you out, right?
Yeah.
So it's really good on them. Oops. Monkey Fist do be needing a new desk. Bubble smokes are better. Yeah, okay, that's what you're talking about that before. Sorry, I didn't really get to go into the Viper thing. Let me talk about that. So if we're using Viper, okay, let's use Viper on Haven. Okay, so Viper on Haven. What abilities do you have to enable your team? You have your wall. Okay, you could argue your orb. You could throw your orb maybe to the left, or something like that. Like if you're going to go towards B, that's a possibility. But you've only got two. You've only got two things that you can use. So if you were to throw a wall like this, it's kind of awkward going in here because you're only taking a little bit of the site as well, right? So let's just say you're throwing a wall in general. Whereas if you had an Omen who has smoke so that he can throw spontaneously wherever he wants, doesn't have to worry about a lineup, or having his ability recover so he has more smokes, like he can always refresh smokes as well. You have more flexibility with a character like that than you do Viper. Whereas on Breeze, because it's all long range, most of the fights are pretty much going to be long range. In a map like that, you're able to decide what fights that you want to take by throwing particular walls like this, or this one right here, which is a traditional one, right? So you're able to pick and choose which fights you want to have. Now, in these maps as well, I would say that having an Omen is not a bad idea either, because you can start throwing smokes in certain spots. I'm just going to throw smokes all over the place, right? The point is you can throw them wherever you want. You have that flexibility. You don't just have the wall at that point, right? So it's more of a matter of flexibility on the map and how many angles you can be peeked out on Haven. And if you were to use your wall on one spot, then it's like you can't really use it anywhere else at that point, right?
Viper's still on B probably.
A lot less agency on maps like that as Viper.
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
You just have like a lot less agency on maps like that than on Viper than you do on a different character.
Yep.
Like you don't get to pick and choose your fights as well.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. You gotta be careful. This step is on you.
It's so funny because you literally don't even have to say anything. I do the thing that I should have done earlier in the game with the ghost, but did it against an eco when they're playing close angles. I reverse psychologied myself. I'm overthinking myself. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. You learned the lesson yourself. Okay. Just for anyone who missed it in chat, smokes are not our friends when we're against an eco. Technically, they're on shotguns. That's an eco, right? It's a bonus, but it's an eco, right? Compared to our vandals. This smoke allows for the opposing team to sit in a ratty angle and cause problems. This chamber's about to run into your smoke and die to a shotgun, right? Because he's like, oh, look at this possibility of a spot that I can go into to be able to abuse your team, right? Who have the advantage with long-range weapons. So this orb, not great. Throw it further back towards them. Let's say you threw it like right over here and then smoked them off. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But definitely don't create an opportunity where you can throw smokes all over the place.
Yeah.
This is a further point that I make. If you are on Omen, for example, and we're going to be playing B site alone, okay? And they're coming into site, and you're on eco. I have no problem with you throwing a smoke like right here and a smoke like right here, and you just going and just playing ratting and staying alive as long as you possibly can. And then have all these guys coming into the site, and they're like, shit, we gotta kill him. Where is he? Where is he? And now we're worried about all these freaking landmines of smokes all over the place, and you could be really close in causing a rat fight like this, which automatically wins you a fight, right? There's nothing wrong with doing that. Is it unconventional? Is it something you don't see all the time? Yeah, it is. But it's not wrong, right? It's not wrong, right? To do that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Close.
30 seconds left.
I would argue the reason we lost this round is because of that orb. Yeah. I would say it's probably, I hate to say it, but it's every single ability you threw. which caused this one, right?
Yeah, this round's on me 100%.
It's very easy to blame other people, right? I'm not saying that you're doing that, but I see it all the time. It's very easy to blame other people when, at any rate, I think that's where I'd like to end off. There's one little thing. I think something happened over here where I say, just spray and light this bitch up. I'm not sure what it's all about. Let me find out. Let's see. Yeah, just spray. Yeah, just spray. Just spray. Just spray that angle. Yeah. Light that bitch up. That's pretty much it, though. That's all I got from this VOD. Was that helpful today?
Yes, very much so.
Awesome. What were your top takeaways from today, Moo?
I wrote them down, actually. I gave myself notes.
Great.
The one I most recently put down was don't be afraid to do something conventional as long as you communicate ahead of time. Shifting your mentality. Don't rush when you're down players. Just go for maximum damage. Make sure I'm isolating my 1v1s and taking advantageous fights depending on what kind of weapon I have. Don't be afraid to change things up when things aren't working. Don't wait till it's too late. And then effective ranges on being, aware of what kind of guns I have and what is going to give me an advantageous fight.
Awesome. I'm super excited to see how you progress as a player. I think you got a lot of room and potential for growth. So I'm excited to see where you go with this. And if you'd like to do more in the future, I would be honored to continue working with you. So let me know when you're ready to go. And if you know of anyone else that would benefit from doing this, feel free to refer. Referral is the way that my business grows. Word of mouth is the way my business grows. So anyone you send me, I do appreciate. Any closing remarks on your end?
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, one more thing that Philip just pointed out, super important. Practice your sheriff.
Yeah.
You are ascendant, my friend. There is no excuse. No excuse.
I will. I promise.
Dare to be uncomfortable and work on that sheriff.
Yeah.
Refer 10 friends, get a session free. Monkey, if you refer me 10 people and they all tell me that they were sent by you, then I will consider that 100%. 100%.
I have 2 incoming referrals, so
amazing. Thank you so much,
yeah.
man. Just have them tally up how many you've sent, and then have them tell me that you sent them, and then I will consider that in the future as well, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. All right, and then I think that's a great time to end off right there, watching you walk by the jet. Getting knifed in the car.
Oh, why'd you have to show that again?
Had to do it.
Oh, it hurts.
All right, Moo, thank you so much for your time today, and I'm looking forward to hearing all of the good things that happen with you. Feel free to post in Discord and let me know your accomplishments, how you've ranked up, all that good stuff. We want to be able to highlight your accomplishments in Discord and share it with everybody. So,
all right.
Sound good?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. You too. You too, my friend. Alrighty. Guys, I think I owe a few more push-ups, do I not? How many am I up to now? What do I owe? I owe like 60 now, right? Am I up to 60? I owe 60. Woo! Alright, once again, guys, just in case you don't know, subs are worth 10 push-ups today. 10 push-ups, and if you sub, you'll have access to the exclusive seminars that are coming up. I believe next month I might have Aaron coming in to speak about something. So if you guys don't know Aaron is a pro player, formerly on XSET. I'm not sure which one he's in right now, but pro player. So if you guys want to get into those seminars, all you gotta do is sub to the channel. Oshi, Aaron, yes. And who knows, I might get Zoms in here. Even though Zoms and I don't have the best relationship. We hate each other. So we'll see. Global Esports, that's what it is. I owe 60 push-ups. I'm gonna see how much I can track off here. Let's go, I'm ready. I'm probably really sore from the last week. Oh. 40 down. I saw unorthodox Viper walls from him. What, from Zoms? From Zoms? Or from Aaron? 40 down, 20 to go. 20 to go. Dear God Almighty. From Aaron? He's a smart player, I don't blame him. 20 more to go. Ah, the lactic acid building up. Yeah, both my nose. Here we go. Do it. 20. Ah. 10 more. 10 more. Do you prefer fasted hypertrophy training? Fasted? I haven't done enough research on fasted training. What I do know about fasted training is that after you fasted for a certain amount of time, your body will naturally go into its like predatory state. And when you're in your predatory state, that's when you're like hunter-gatherer. So you get a natural burst of energy from that. On top of it, if you're not digesting, then that energy that was used to digest goes into your workout. So there's benefits of that as well. I haven't personally done fasted hypertrophy training or fasted training in general. Haven't experienced it yet. I might try it just to give you some feedback on that, but I haven't personally done it myself. How do you book a coaching session? All right, here we go. Socials. You can join up on the Discord. You can reach out to me personally, send me a message, say, hey, I want to do this. I'll send you all the information. It's $50 per session, USD. But we'll have a chat, you and me, and discuss what the options are. And from there, you'll send me a VOD. I'll take the recording. I'll set you up on a date. Right now, I think I'm definitely booked up till November. I might have one slot open next weekend, but pretty sure I have 4 now. So I'm booked up till November, middle of November. But if you get in, the earlier you get in, the faster we'll be able to move you into the session. So if you wait, I'll have other people jumping in. So let's make sure that you get in there quick. Okay? I felt a lot better about fasted training. I haven't had a chance to try it. Haven't had a chance to try it. Okay, 10 more.
The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way.
There. We're done. We made it. Oh, all right. All subs are worth 10 push-ups. Good to know. Thanks a bunch. Awesome. Welcome in. Woo! Easy. Alrighty. It is time. We have, I think Xander's next. Could be wrong. Who do we have next here? Yes, it is Xander. Alrighty. We're gonna invite Xander in. We're gonna give him a call. He hasn't responded yet, so... Oh, there he is. Perfect.
Yeah.
Hello, Xander. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Awesome. Just 1 second here. Perfect. Okay. We're gonna get the stream going for you, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Perfect. Xander, how's it going?
Pretty good. I finally get a day off from work.
What do you do for work?
All day.
What do you do for work?
I work at Hy-Vee. It's just a grocery store, and I work in the butcher area. So I'm not old enough to cut anything or anything like that, though.
Okay.
But
cool. So you finally got your day off.
Yeah, I finally got my day off. Good.
Awesome.
I just got a new mouse too, so I've been waiting for this for a while, cause I got the mouse like beginning of last week, and with school and work, I barely have any time to play. So.
What kind of mouse do you have?
I just got the Logitech G Pro Super Light.
Nice, cool. I haven't tried that one out personally.
Yeah.
But maybe in the future I will.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, it's pretty solid. I love
even
it.
care if we win this shit, bro. These guys are
awesome.
Fucking...
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been playing Valorant for? What are your goals, and what do you struggle with the most?
I've been playing since like April. Right now I'm like gold 3. I've been stuck in gold for like at least a month, 2 months probably. My goals, I'm just kind of competitive, and everything I do, I just want to be the best at. So, it's definitely like immortal is what I want to be.
Cool. I love it. And it looks like we didn't get into that last game, so let's watch another one.
Yeah, this is the game.
This is the game.
Into.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, so what do you feel is holding you back from getting to immortal?
Honestly, I think it's a lot of mechanics. I feel like I have solid game sense. Like I'll be in games and I'll be spectating. I think it's something that, like, when I'm playing, it's mediocre. When I'm spectating, it's way better, you know? Because last night I was in a 5-stack with all my friends, and we last saw Raise A Link, and then I was like, nobody knew where he was basically, and nobody was looking flowers, and then I called, she's gonna wrap you flowers, and there she was. It's
so
definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like, I think mainly mechanics that are holding me back.
Mainly mechanics. Okay, when you say mechanics, what does that mean exactly?
My aim, definitely my aim. Like I said though, I have no idea. Maybe my aim's solid for what rank I'm at.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not too certain on what holds me back. I kind of have like an ego. You know,
I'm gonna go eat.
I can definitely admit that's a weakness that I have.
Okay, an ego? Alrighty, cool. And ego for what exactly?
Like, it's hard for me to accept that I'm losing, you know? It's like, it's hard for me to take away from a loss. It's something definitely for me. And even during this match, I'm like, every time I die, it's like, man, I shouldn't have died there. I could have done it way better, you know? And it's like, I just don't know what I should be doing better.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's funny because I'd say 9.9 times out of 10, when a student says my aim is the reason why I'm held back or not doing well, it's usually not the aim that causes the problem. In fact, I don't think there's any point in this VOD where I talk about your aim being an issue. So I think you're on the right track with that already. I think there's a lot of other things that we need to focus on. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of clarity on that spot. The ego thing, I like that you brought that up because it takes a lot of courage to admit that, right? When we have an ego. But here's the thing, everyone has ego. It's just a matter of you being able to control that side of it and know when to use it and when not to use it. In fact, I would say don't use it at all if you can. There's a difference between confidence and ego. We want to be confident, but we don't want to be driven by ego, because if we get driven by ego, we make bad decisions. Okay, that's it for everything in your life. I had Trippy look at your situation. Were you there yesterday?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it was a network thing from what he was saying, but I wanted to make sure I was confirmed on that. Did you see all the changes that he did for the network to make it better for you?
Yeah, I saw all that stuff.
Cool.
I haven't gotten to it yet. I just got out of the shower like 10-20 minutes ago.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
Today.
Yeah, definitely re-look that over and then see if we can make some modifications on those things. So the learning objectives I have for you is all in peaks and chamber TPs. That's the first thing. So it's very simple. Like this round right here, you're going in with an open mind. Nothing's happened in this game. So you're Your mental is probably at its peak right now, and so than anything challenged, so you're putting your TPs down. There's plenty of times where I'm like, wow, we missed an opportunity to just like at least have something there, right? Now, Chamber is one of those agents that you can do an all-in peak. Have you heard of all-in peaks before? You know what that is?
Yeah, like you're just like you're all the way out there. You know, there's
You're
no
T-posing.
agent. Yeah.
Yeah, you're T-posing. You're out in the middle, and it's like, okay, well, I have no escape route. But with Chamber, you have that escape route. So you have a little bit more flexibility to make obscene plays, if you will, where you're in positions out of perspective, right? But it's super important to have those TPs down, even if they're complete shit TPs. At least you've got them out because you're getting some sort of value out of them. And that's the big key with this, right? So they should always, always, always be out. Even if it's not good right now. We don't necessarily have to be really good with the TPs. If you're to get someone like Dink in here to talk to you about TPs, maybe he can give us a little bit of reflection. Dink, do you want to hop in on this one? Just because you've played a ton of Chamber and Radiant. If you do, just let me know in chat and I'll bring you in. So, all in peaks and Chamber TPs is the first one. Role of the Lurker. This is an important piece. The role of a lurker and the rule of the lurker is to exist as long as possible. But for you, we want to be a little more specific on what those rules are in terms of what you need to focus on. And that first one is who takes contact first. Okay, now typically when you're in a situation where you're alone, let's pull up valorant just so you can see. We'll use Pearl as an example. I think what happens is you go to Art. And then there's 4 people here. I don't know what the setup is, who's on our team. I'm just going to throw 4 people here. And you decide to go here, and I think you take a fight on a Chamber here, right? You end up winning this fight, but I would say that what you need to do is wait and let these guys take contact first, because they're more likely to get a trade. Now let's say that you take this fight, and it doesn't go well. 2 things happen. They now have full control over Art and middle to be able to do a flank. And the other piece is, you've lost your life and there's no impact, nobody can trade you. If Neon was with you and could trade you, then it's okay, but there's no situation here where they can trade you, right? Sorry, I fucked up. Sorry, here it is again. We play it again. We do it all over again. I just realized. My bad. Okay, so let's start this all over again. So there's a point in time where you end up running up here. I didn't have it playing on my screen. Thank you for that, Philip. And you run up to this section right here and you take a 1v1 with this Chamber. Now, it goes well, you end up getting this kill, but I would say that in these situations, you always want the group to take contact first before you take contact for 2 reasons. If this fight did not go well, you die, they get up all this space. They don't have to worry about it anymore. They'll probably go up here, clear it, make sure nothing's good. And then the other piece is that nobody can trade you. So if you had someone with you to trade you, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. In this case, these guys all have people to trade, so they should be pulling in attention first. If they attack first, more often than not, this Chamber is going to start rotating. That's when you hit, because now he's not looking at you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a timing thing.
It's all a timing thing. Yeah. And the way that you figure out that timing, because we don't want to just call it timing, but the way that you figure out that timing is just by understanding, hey, I'm lurking right now, and I've got all the time in the world to make a move. I don't have to necessarily pick the exact perfect time to peek, or I don't have to be the first person to peek. I can wait for everyone else to draw attention first, and then I'll make my move. And that's the real key behind lurking. Okay? The oh shit line and danger zone, we'll be talking about that quite a bit. This is very common at your rank. It's when you have your abilities out and you're facing a spot where it's like, oh, this person could totally swing me right now, and it's like I'm at high risk of dying, right? So we'll talk about that. And then the other piece, and we'll talk about it a lot, is why the aggression. I think this feeds into the ego part that you brought up. There's certain parts in this map where I'm like, you didn't really need to be aggressive here. What was the reason behind it? So I'm just going to straight up ask you, and we're going to find different ways of how you could have played those particular rounds. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So this first round is a macro strategy. I love what you did there. Great kill. You start falling back. You see people that are essentially rotating because the A takes are happening. You're hearing comms. The big piece right here is that this is a macro strategy called the rollover. Okay, so rollover rotations. If I were to use Haven as an example, okay, let's go into valorant. And we'll use Haven because it's easiest to teach this on Haven. When you're on defense, normally you'll see players playing somewhere along like these lines. I'm just going to put characters on the map so you can see. and they'll do something defaulty like this, right? And everyone's playing along those lines. So let's just say that Reyna calls out that there's 5 towards A. What would happen? She might fall back and play in sight, and then you'd have Raze playing with her, or something along those lines, right? Maybe Raze will be playing here. And then what would happen is everyone on the map wants to rotate in accordance to what just happened there. So you might see a rotation like this, right? And then you would be moving, if you're Omen, right over here. Everyone moves over one position to the left. Same thing happens on C. Everyone moves over one position to the right. So if we have this set up right here again, something like this, whatever, okay, then everyone would be moving over one position to the right to support you. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And you all want to move into that with unison. Now, the piece that is really important for you is understanding what your role is in these comps, right? Your role is in these rotations. So in this case, if we're playing Chamber and you're playing Pearl, right? You're this person. You're actually the anchor. The anchor is a position on the map that is the last person to rotate, right? You don't necessarily have to have 5 people on a bomb site to protect it. In fact, 3 is usually more than enough because you've got positioning on the offending team that's trying to come into the site. So you don't necessarily have to leave right away. You can move to the left slightly. So why you usually see someone on this map in particular, they'll end up rotating to this position after everyone's rotated. They'll rotate here, right? And then they'll be able to still listen for C. And if there is someone C, then they'll back off here. People start rotating in. They might start taking paths like this, right? To be able to start retaking on C. But the point is that you can move a little to the left. So on this particular round that we're watching, you're going to make a full commitment rotate early. And this could be a big faux pas because as soon as you make these one little mistakes with movement where you didn't necessarily have to do all that, like look, we have a lot of people over here, right? We have a lot of people on A already. What's one more person, i.e. you as an anchor, the last person, the furthest person right, going to really make as a difference in this situation? It's a little bit overkill at this point. Right? And the issue is that we don't have information on how many people are over there. We're just kind of just going for it. And typically when I see this happening, it's usually a frag driven move. You're thinking, where are the frags coming from? Where can I get these stats, right? Whereas in reality, if you stay right here, let's say you go into heaven, you're in this position right over here. You can now protect the B site and still be in a position that you can rotate relatively quickly if shit goes and hits the fan on A. And the problem here is that if you all over-rotate and they don't commit to this A, what are they going to do? They're going to start wrapping through. They're going to go right back to B, and now you're not in position to be able to take your first fight. They've got site control, they plant the bomb, and now percentages are starting to shift more in their favor to win, right? Gotta go for now, Philip. Thank you so much for coming by, Philip. Appreciate you. Welcome in. New family member. New member in the chat.
Right here, I realized I made a mistake on rotating, and I didn't even go into site. I just sprinted back to B link.
Yeah.
Because I figured they'd be going through mid.
And they are. And this Reyna could have had a timing on you to kill you while your knife was out. So it's kind of a small oh shit line here, right?
Oh, there's one mid.
I would say that the mistake happened earlier than that. It was when you full rotated out of B. Whereas you could have been like either back here or up in heaven to be able to still be in a good foothold position to be able to rotate if things didn't go well on A.
Yeah, that's when the mistake happened, and that's when I realized it was once I got by flower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the rule of thumb for you to make it really easy is that if you're the furthest right on the map or the furthest left on the map, you are a role called the anchor. And the anchor is the last person to leave. He's the person who sinks with the ship. He's the captain, right? So you're the last one to leave. Now, if everyone's rotated over to B and you see a lot of action, if you're on A and you're playing dugout, for example, you can rotate to flowers and then look towards this direction, towards A main. So that way you're in a position that you can still rotate relatively quicker than you would have been if you were in dugout. Does that make sense? And I think I lost you. I did lose you. Are you there, Xander?
Hello?
Oh, you're back. What did you not hear?
I heard everything.
Okay, cool.
Nothing happened on my end.
Okay, cool, cool. Awesome, so I don't have to repeat it. Great. Okay. The next piece that's really important here. Okay, so first and foremost, make sure you're communicating what you're hearing, what you're doing, if you're gonna stick this bomb or not. That's important.
Like every game I think I've been in, I've won against like Smurf.
Okay. Chat might not have heard this, but this is an important piece that I really want to start reconditioning your mind on and in chat's mind on too. So you said, every game I play, it's like I'm going against a Smurf. First of all, you're in the past. First of all, you're in the past. Go ahead.
That was my friend in Discord.
Okay, cool. So we'll
Saying
use
that.
your friend as an example. Okay.
Yeah.
So this wasn't you saying it, but it's important because I hear this all the time, right? So your friend said that every game I go against someone, it's always a Smurf, right? Something along those lines. First of all, he's in the past. Has nothing to do with what's going on in this particular game, right? That's in the past. So whoever that Smurf was is currently living rent-free in that person's head, right? Which is not good because you're not focused on what you need to do with this game. If you're in that state, do not queue up, reset yourself, go for a walk, go do some push-ups, whatever you got to do, get yourself reoriented and refocused on the game that you're playing right now, okay? Now, the piece that I'm going to make here is that we need to recondition your mind to playing against Smurfs. When I play against a Smurf, I'm excited. I played a lot of Overwatch during the lockdown, and I was brand new to Overwatch. And every time I played, I was playing in a low rank. I remember I started off in like silver or something like that. Every time I played in a low rank, I would oftentimes encounter a Smurf. And every time I encountered a Smurf, I got excited because this was an opportunity for my growth. This was an opportunity to see where my mistakes were coming in from. I wanted to play against high-level grandmasters all the time because every time I was playing against these silvers and these golds, they weren't punishing me for the mistakes that I was making. So this needs to be considered as a learning opportunity, not a negative thing. We want to be playing against these guys. We want to play against these top competitions. If you want to go pro, if you want to be immortal, you're going to eventually be playing against them. So this is a great way of being able to play against someone of higher caliber early on. We should be very welcoming of this opportunity. We should be excited to play this opportunity because that's where you ultimately want to go. That's what your goal is, right? You want to be immortal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's play against the Immortals. That's what we're going to do. Fantastic, right? Experience it. Experience it. More than anything. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Go ahead.
I remember that being one of the very first things that I accepted when I started playing this game. When I was in bronze, I just was like, I almost gave up about 3 different times just because of Smurfs, but then I was like, I ended up watching a Joel, or I can't remember if it was Joel's or someone else, but I ended up hearing that and I was like, yeah, they're right. If I want to be the best, then I have to play against the best.
Yeah.
Like,
you should always be looking for the next challenge, right? And I'm dealing with this with some of my Radiant teams too, right? We've had some situations, even Dink, I think. Dink, we had this conversation, which I'm going to have to make into a TikTok. You know, he sometimes gets intimidated when he's playing against 10s. Sometimes gets intimidated when he's playing against Yay. The mindset that you should be having is that all pressure's on 10s and Yay, it's not on me. I'm not the named player, they are the named player. They're on stream right now with 10,000 people. And if I kick the shit out of him, right, people are going to be looking at him like, what the hell's going on, right? All pressure's on him.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And at the other piece too is that, sure, 10s and Yay won a bunch of tournaments and did all this great stuff in the past, but guess what? That's the past. This is now. What are they going to do to me now? That's what matters, right? This particular game is all that matters. I learned this lesson when I was in curling. When I was curling, I was playing at a semi-professional level. And the tournament champions of the Ontario Championship, the ones that went to the Canadian Championship, we were playing them in the first game of this tournament. And the first thing I said to myself was, oh shit, we're playing against John Epping. We're going to fucking lose. My skip, who's the leader of the team, turns around, grabs me by both shoulders, shakes me and says, no. Says, no, you do not think like that. What they did in the past does not matter. What they do now is all that matters. You focus on you. They've never played against you, right? They might have played against them in the past and ended up winning. That's great. But what can they do to you right now, right? So I went into that game with that mindset. Guess what happened in that game? We won 8-3. We destroyed them, right? And they were the champions, right? They're Canadian champions, essentially. But we're just these 4 guys from a local curling club that ended up beating them, right? So it doesn't matter what they did in the past. All that matters is what they do right now, right?
I
There's one B mid.
I thought you were talking.
Oh no.
Okay, this round is all about TPs and all-in peaks. Okay, so let's go into what happens here. This is all fine and good. You could be communicating that you're doing this so that your teammates can help support you a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, during this game, I think I was kind of in full tilt. Like, not full tilt, definitely half tilt. Like, I kind of stopped calming. I talked very rarely during this game. And I remember I even leave the VC with my friend because I was like, he just kept talking in game and I was getting tilted from that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly respond to chat because I've seen a whole bunch. First time chatter, Bianna. I think it's Ann. I'm gonna say Ann. Bean Ann. There it is. Bean Ann. How's it going? Welcome into the chat. I think anchoring is quite important, but in ranked, it's kind of hard to make decision to anchor, especially when people lack comms or give ghost comms, which does lead to over rotates. Also, though, in the right setups, you can lean over to the opposite site more if you get chamber trip deep in some places where you can get early info. Yes, the chamber trip is essentially like a surrogate player. So I like that you made that comment there. In terms of the lack of comms, you can get all the information you need from the minimap. There's been numerous times where people complain that no one's saying anything in VOD reviews, and I just sit there going like, well, you know how many people are in that certain spot because you just saw them, 3 or 4 people popped up there, right? In fact, there's many times where I give the feedback as a coach, and there's a lot of coaches that will disagree with me on this, but I give the feedback of, why don't you just mute everybody at the start of the game anyway? Because how many good comms on average in gold do you hear when you're playing games? Xander.
I'm sorry, someone was knocking on my door.
That's okay. I'm going to ask you the question again. How many good comms are said in gold rank? How many good comms that are usable are said in gold rank? Give a percentage.
I mean, I feel like all information is valuable.
Okay.
I'd say about like 50% of the comms are solid.
Okay, I'd say about 5%. 5%.
Really?
Yes. Based on the comms that you would hear in a Radiant team to what you would experience in ranked, even in Radiant, I've heard it, right? I had a VOD just recently in Immortal. It was Vu Storms, who I think he's in here right now. If you were to watch this VOD, nobody says a damn thing at all. Like, it's like there's like crickets the entire game, and he's like talking to himself, and that's in friggin' Immortal, right? So I would say that 50% is very generous, right? Because the information that you're getting most of the time is someone complaining about something stupid, right? Oh, it did 149. It did, like, what is that usable for, right? We just watched an Ascendant VOD just a second ago, and you know the comms were okay because she was making comms. How many good comms can you remember from her teammates? Very few, right? And the ones that she was making for herself, there was actually some incorrect moments, right? She was saying, oh, they're in main, 3 main. And then all of a sudden, you could see her character or her teammates moving towards her position when she actually meant B main, right? So I would say I'm being under generous by saying 5%. We'll say 10%, right? Most of the time in ranked, the comms are really bad. Really, really bad. So to answer your question, Bean, I would say that you can get most of your information just by looking at the minimap. And the amount of good information that you're probably going to end up getting in most of your ranked games, probably not going to be worth it anyway. So you need to put yourself in control, right? What can you control? And maybe it's just you developing more of a skill to look at your mini-map for information and not having to rely on others and the expectation of others to be saying things. Because we can't control them. We can only control ourselves. I hope that's a fair answer at that point. Monkey Fist Gaming, the most Canadian sentence ever. I went to a curling tournament. Yes, I went to many curling tournaments. Okay, so and then you said something about tilt, right? And I think I've already answered this. What was the point that you made?
Oh yeah, I was saying right around here, my comms were getting terrible. I was kind of full tilt. But right here especially. Like after that, I remember it all kind of went downhill for me, for my mental.
Well, I would say that in this particular fight, There's a lot that we could do. And I think because you just mentioned that you're in full tilt, I've talked several times about this. Anger will make us make irrational decisions, right? Anger will also make our aim drop by 80%. Your fine motor skills drop significantly, right? So making any emotional investment, Monkey Fist has got it in chat, any emotional investment is going to harm the way that you play. Let's look at this. Tell me what options you had when taking this fight. Let's watch it back. Okay. You need to watch it again?
Yeah, one more time.
Okay, let's watch it one more time. In chat, you can give him suggestions. You can help him out. What could he have done differently?
I definitely think I don't need a full commit. I put my body out there way too much.
Yeah,
and
that's
I also should have been looking at my mini map when I was coming up, because I didn't even realize just until right now when I looked at my mini map that there was a Sage in shop already. Because my initial plan was, I know they're leaving B right now because of how deep my Yoru is. The smoke's gone, Sky doesn't see anything, all that. So my plan was to get right next to that jet and hold a crossfire through shops, and that just kind of didn't go the way expected. I expected it to go.
I think your points are all valid there. And if you look at chat, not sure if you have chat open right now, there's been a lot of really good answers. And Bean Ann, who's one of our newest members to the team, newest members to the chat, mentioned one critical point that you probably missed, right? Maybe you weren't focused on these little details, but you have 3 seconds until this TP's up. You have 3 seconds till your TP's up, and you have not thrown it. Remember I talked about value in your TP? Your value in your TP is throwing it. Boom, it's up. Toss both of them, right? If you think you're going to be taking a fight, toss both of them. Even if it's wrong, just put it out. The first step for you as a chamber main is to, at the very least, limit test your abilities. You might not be 100% correct every single time with it. You might make some mistakes, but I'd rather you have it out than not having it out at all, because then there's no room for growth there, right? So in this moment, toss 2 down, so that when you make an all-in peak like this, you have that escape route if you needed it, okay? You could have taken the fight here. Now let's say you're not chamber, let's say you're Omen, right? And you ran out into the open, like this. You're 100% dead. There's no escape, right? And technically, you are an Omen right now, because you haven't thrown your TPs out. You're enabled by the TP. So you're an Omen character, you're not chamber, right? But as soon as you throw those TPs down, now you're chamber. Now you can make a move like this, and that's totally fine. And what I credit this movement to is what you just said. You're tilted. You didn't think straight. You didn't take in all the information. You weren't looking at your minimap. You were probably fixated on the crosshair and not really ready to take this fight, right? So, feedback to you. If you're tilted, back out, take a break, come back in once you're ready to go, okay? Because queuing non-stop is not going to help your progress. You want every single game to be productive. If you're not ready to be productive towards your learning, step away. Step away. In my personal opinion, some people seem to struggle with util management and ult management. Like, my thought process is that you can get an ult back, but not around, so sometimes just risk it. Yeah, it's kind of like, another analogy is, let's say that we're going through a twister, right? And some people are like, I really want to save my prized peanut collection, right? And it's like, it's an object, right? It's an object, but you can't save your life. So get your ass into the storm shelter, forget the friggin' peanuts, right? You know what I mean? Same idea. I think alts have less of a value than your life in a round, for sure. So if you have an opportunity where, if you don't want to make the investment, I mean, obviously if you don't want to make the investment, don't make the investment, but if you were to choose the round win over an alt, then choose the alt, get rid of the alt, right? Get the round win, get rid of the alt. Okay. This is round 3. So round 3, the group takes first contact over the lurker. This is the round. This is one of the rounds, actually, where it happens. So you're going to see an exact example of what we talked about prior to the VOD review. Okay.
All 7. That's 1.20 KD. Enemy spotted A. Multiple enemies A. This might be for us.
I think you're talking to yourself here?
No, that's my my friend talking.
Okay.
Tagged Raze 101 by the way.
Yeah, that's a really good example, Bean. Really good example, Bean. Okay. So, instead of being the first person to take this fight, you have passive impact by being here. Have you heard of passive impact?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you Omen TP, Omen all into the other side spawn, just kind of stay alive, and they always are going to be worrying about it.
Yeah, that's passive impact. Very good. Right. Your passive impact on this particular round is map control. You just being alive here tells your 4 teammates that there can be no one art until you die, right? And there can be no one in, I'm not even sure what they call this area. We'll say it's newsstand. There can be no one newsstand. Okay? So they have full control of that. That means the enemy can only be here. Right here. Okay? So it can only be in front of them. So by you staying alive here, you have passive impact in terms of the map control. Okay? So what you need to do, just like we talked about at the beginning of this, don't take the first fight. Let them take the first fight because they're more likely to trade. Because you peek out here, and you take this fight, and it could have went well for you. You died. Now we lost that map control. Now they can open up and be all along here. Right? So now when they come back in for a rotate, because you've lost that foothold, it's much harder for them to win this round. Just on that. Does that make sense?
It does.
Sometimes it's the fights that you don't take and the stats that you avoid grabbing that wins you or loses you rounds. That's why I always say stats are overrated. Sometimes positioning is more important. Yes, Bean, let's take it to the next level. So the next thing that you could do, let's say that you really want to take a fight or you're forced into a fight situation. Who can enable you in this moment so that you can make this peak a little bit easier for yourself? Who on your team? Who enables you on this team?
Well, we have Omen could smoke off their A main. We have Sky Flash, Yoru Flash, Omen Blind.
Beautiful. It's not wrong for you to ask for utility. Even if they don't give you a response, it's a good practice to get into, because I want you to dress for the rank that you want, not the rank that you have right now. So you're dressing to impress, right? It's like you going in for a job interview and you're currently working in a grocery store, but you want to go into a law firm, right? You're not going to dress in street clothes with that. You're going to probably have a suit and a tie because you want to dress to impress. No difference here. Dress to be immortal, right? So the immortal here would probably say, hey, Yoru, can you throw a flash for me? Omen, can you smoke here for me? Anything along those lines, right? You're on an eco right now. There's nothing wrong with Omen throwing a smoke right here and you riding into the smoke right on the stairs. Nothing wrong with that, right? So don't be afraid to ask for utility as well. When you're in these situations, if the option is to take a dry fight over a util full fight, you want to use the util. This increases your chances to win. Work together.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you